This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We got DJ Shuttle and Die Hard Ebro in the building. And yeah, we got some news to talk about before we even get to the draft. The draft is kicking off right now. The Atlanta Hawks are on the clock. You can see right down below me the list of teams that's about to draft. We got the Hawks, you got the Washington Wizards, the Houston Rockets, the Detroit Pistons, San Antonio Spurs. I skipped over the Spurs, but anyway, you can see down below me. But before we even get to that, man, the Knicks it was announced by Adrian, by Woj, that OG is signing for 5 years, $212.5 million with the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. 5 years, $212.5 million. There's an option somewhere in there. I don't know if OG has the option or the team has the option. I haven't seen that yet. There's also a trade kicker. Oh, it's a player option. Never mind. You can see it on the screen. The deal includes a player option and a trade kicker. What do y'all think about the deal? I mean, first of all, it had to be done, right? You don't make the trade to get OG, and then you put your chips in the middle to get Mikal Bridges and not re-sign OG. You had to re-sign OG, right? So it had to get done. You know what I mean?
First of all, Sim, if you look closely, the hat says OG.
OG.
Okay. I like it. Okay. Just shout to my guy, Kev Sutton, OG Entertainment. They sponsored me with this hat. I said, look, yeah, we got to have that because we signed an OG back. So we got to have an OG hat. It's only right, Sim.
No doubt.
Look.
No doubt about that.
It's a simple formula. In any sport, the team that is #1 in your conference is the team you must construct your team to beat.
Correct.
That's how this goes.
Correct.
You must have a team that can go against Tatum and Brown. That's the two-headed monster. Of course, Holiday's impactful. Of course, Porzingis, Derek White, those guys are important. But if you can't go match up against Tatum and Brown, you're not going to be able to beat the Boston Celtics. Now, we have two players equally in their prime, strong defensive players. It's almost like twins. It's almost like twins. So, do I think the picks were a lot for Bridges? Yes. Do I think the money for OG was excessive? Yes. Do I feel like it had to get done? Am I happy it's done and they're here to go against Boston? Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So all things can be true.
Yeah. I mean, it had to get done. At that point, when the Knicks made the move for Bridges, and it's not complete yet, so we'll see how everything works out. But at that point, like OG had all the leverage when you think about it,
of course,
right? Because it's like, all right, you made this move. If you don't re-sign me, you basically have the same team. You know what I'm saying? Now Bridges is just taking my spot, and you gave away RJ and quickly for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you had to do it, and he had the leverage. You know what I mean? But all in all, I mean, the Knicks is basically, they've thrown their chips out there. They've said, we're going all in for the next 4 to 5 years and trying to win a championship. That's what it says to me, right? Yeah. That's what it says to me. What you think about it, Ebru?
just like DJ Soto said, you can't play games at this point now. The Knicks are already they were actively going for the championship. They were fighting in the playoffs and stuff. But the Celtics are the team, and you wanna win. You really want to win. Then you can't play games. You can't play around. You can't say, "Oh, OG, okay, let's play hardball with you. We're gonna offer you 3 years and that type of thing." OG had the leverage, and the Knicks didn't play games with him. They said, "You know what? We're gonna give you the bread that you asked for, and that's the end of that." Same thing with the Nets. The Nets wanted draft picks. They wanted whatever. The Knicks didn't play games. They said, "We got the draft picks. Here you go. Give us the player.
Right.
Let's go for it."
Right.
And so now nobody could be upset. We're here now.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is what everybody wanted. We are here now.
And they were, including myself. My main criticism of the main office was that they were afraid to take chances. They were, too conservative, right? But I think they proved with this move here that they're not conservative. They were just waiting for the right move, what they thought was the right move. And then we say, this is the right move. We'll throw our chips in there now. You know what I'm saying? And they played it smart. Kept looked at the playing field, paid attention to what everybody was doing, heard about the Nets are gonna
trade him.
They're gonna trade him. They're breaking it down. This is who we want. You know what I'm saying? And we'll overpay to get him if that's what you want to call it.
Well, I would just say, Sim, in fairness, right? When the talks were bringing Mitchell in, this was 2 years ago. You didn't know Jalen Brunson was a top 5 MVP candidate when you brought him in.
Right.
You didn't have OG at that time in a position to re-sign him. You didn't have, Dante and Josh, with the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? Randall's now another All-NBA season, another All-NBA season. Last year he was shooting for. So now when you're at the final piece, now you're going to maybe do more than you might want to do and go all in because now you're closer to the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at OG's contract, I mean, that's like $42 million a year. Average. We'll see how it breaks down. It could be ascending, it could be descending. We'll see how it breaks down. But on average, it's $42 million a year. What's that say about what Randall and Brunson's going to get when it's time for them to re-up?
It is ascending, though. It goes from 35 to 48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Randall and Brunson, they're going to get paid. Now, they have the ability to opt out next season, right? They can also, keep the contract and play under that contract, which Brunson is like 24.9. Randall is like $30 million. But either way, they're going to either opt out and get paid with a contract starting next season, right? Or they'll play next season, not this season coming up, but the season after, right? They'll play that season under that contract and then have an extension, beginning in 26, 27 or something like that. But how much do you see either one of them getting paid now, though?
It's going to make OG's contract look like a baby contract, especially Brunson. They're going to crack the safe open for that cat, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they both getting paid unless I guess you have this season, and then you have next season. You got this season, right? And then after that, find out what are we looking like? We put our chips in. What are we looking like? And then I guess they'll make a decision whether they're gonna opt in or opt out, and the Knicks got to make a decision from there on how much they're gonna pay those guys. Yeah, I don't know what you think, Shuttle.
Oh man, with Brunson, right? He has an All-NBA season. If he does that again this upcoming season, and it is no contract that's done right now, I mean, after year 3 and 2 All-Star, All-NBA seasons, I mean, he's gonna be looking at a max. I foresee one of them getting the max next season, and then the other I just don't want to go too far ahead. Worried about this right now. 24, 25. I'm like, listen, we on target to be championship contenders, and I'm just so locked in on that. I can't even be too hyped thinking about contracts 2 years from now. I ain't gonna hold you, Sim.
Okay. All right. Nah, that's fair. That's fair. You see the Atlanta Hawks, they drafted Zakari Razashe. Or how do you say his last name?
It sounds crazy.
Razashe.
It's very light skinned. Very light skinned, his name there.
That's French.
Razashe.
Ooh la la, wee wee.
Yeah. Razashe. And the Washington Wizards are now on the clock. Wizards on the clock. The Knicks have the 24.
French guys, man.
French
hey, man.
over.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're hooping over there.
We got Wembanyama, but I'm watching the highlights of this kid. I didn't really care too much about him, but just watching him, he doesn't play soft. He plays like he's attacking. Like he plays like he got some game to him. So French. I don't know what's in the water in French. Maybe the Avion water they got over there. So I heard it's the best water out there.
Maybe the French fries.
I don't know, man. They hooping over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like when I saw some video about just like Paris, and there was some things there that I was surprised. Like they had hoods there, and I was like, oh, really?
Oh yeah, graffiti's big there. Hip hop's big in France.
Yeah.
So but I've been watching tape on this guy just because an addict watching the draft stuff. This guy is definitely a very he's a strong utility player. Like he hustles, he gets loose balls, he's scrappy, he gets to the hoop, he shoots good, he plays decent defense. So I saw something where they said he's like the safe pick if you're going number one. He might not have the highest ceiling, but he does have a very high floor. So, hopefully works out for those guys.
Yeah.
What do we think the Knicks are going to do with their picks, though? That's the question.
That's what I was getting to. 24 and 25.
You gotta trade one of these picks for a future pick to make up for all the picks you lost.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. You trade one of them. Here's the thing, though. Well, I guess that doesn't matter. You got to find a team that's looking to grab another pick this year, right? And see if they're willing, and maybe they have multiple picks in the future. See if they're willing to, take a pick this year and give you a pick in 2000 what? 2025 or 2020.
Yeah, 27, 29, something that's kind of out there where, when the lack of picks that we just traded is starting to have an impact.
Yeah, because, they should start having an impact, like Steph was saying earlier, 2029, 2031. That's when, the lack of picks will definitely have an impact on the team, because that's when you would expect maybe this team is
on the way down and down and out.
On the way down and out or something like that,
Yeah, I see a 4 or 5 year run. So if you can get anything at year 5 or thereafter, I think that would be great.
Yeah, we'll see. Steph, how you feeling?
Listen, excuse me. I'm feeling good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Very good.
All right, awesome.
You're looking smooth,
Listen.
Steph. You're looking smooth.
Listen, this might just be for a moment. It's tenuous down here. But listen, that OG signing was huge for us. 42.5. That's a bit rich, more than I thought the Knicks would be willing to go. Even I thought 40 would be high, but like you guys were saying, the Knicks are pushing their chips into the middle of the table, and they're building this team to beat Boston. They're building this team to go on a run. So I'm actually super excited about what they did so far.
Yeah. They had to do it. They had to sign him. I think they knew once they traded for Bridges, that was it. You know what I mean? They had to sign OG at almost whatever the cost was. Now, I did read some things where maybe OG still took a little bit less to play with the Knicks. I didn't read the full thing.
Yeah,
And that
it's
they
not a full max, and they were saying he likely was going to get a max deal in the open market, so they brought him in close to the max.
yeah. And you see the Washington Wizards took Alex Sarr, another guy from France. I think this is what was expected. Steph, how do you feel and I don't want to say how do you feel, but what do you take of so many players coming from France, being drafted really, really high overseas?
That listen, we can go back to the dream team, right? That's where it started. In terms of international players really getting a sense of what it's like to play in the NBA. I think they got the bug, and from there, obviously there was always basketball over there, but they got a sense, I believe, at that time, what it's going to take to play in the NBA. And it is really a global game right now. You look at even the best players in the NBA right now, international players. So
Right.
I'm not surprised at all.
Right. International players. The Rockets are currently on the clock. They have a pick from Brooklyn. I was watching all day. I was watching First Take, this and that, and there's a lot of talk about the Rockets and some things that they may be trying to do. For them to have the third pick right now, you know what I'm saying? With the team that they already have, which was very, very competitive last year. There's a lot of people saying that they're trying to make a move to get Kevin Durant or Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
You know what I mean? Personally, I think Kevin Durant would be the wrong move. Unless they really feel he fits into their roster construction, right? But being just the age that Kevin Durant is, I don't know. I think you would rather have someone who's going to fit the timeline a little bit better. Devin Booker would fit the bill. I don't see Phoenix giving up Devin Booker. Maybe they would trade Kevin Durant, but I do not see them giving up Kevin Booker. But what's your thoughts on Houston and what they're trying to do?
Oh, go ahead.
Anyone, it don't matter.
I think it's interesting. A lot of times when you get a group of young players, you kind of want to marinate with them, for a few years. And I think they're like, yo, we were pretty good
Right.
They brought in Dylan Brooks. There was somebody else they brought in last year. They were like,
Fred
listen,
VanVleet.
we got
Van Vliet.
what's the name of
Fred
Van
VanVleet.
Correct. We got enough young players right now. They brought in those two guys. They started to win. I'm not sure if they made the play-in, but they were close. They were in the running for a while. It seems a bit too soon for me to go all in on a superstar like Kevin Durant.
Right.
But apparently they feel like they're closer than at least I think they are.
Yeah. I guess that. Yeah.
Well, the Houston ownership group has a history of being extremely active, having some shock value with trades. So I'm not surprised that they're attempting to do something. You know what I mean? And a guy like Dylan Brooks, his contract is kind of like the Bogdanovich contract in terms of money and, in this today's market now, it's a very tradable contract. So, yeah, I think Sengun, was a whole lot better than they probably anticipated. And Jabari is moving along at a high speed.
Mm-hmm.
Green's kind of elevating. Maybe he's somebody you would be willing to part with to get someone like Booker, but I doubt Suns are doing that.
Right. I don't know if the Suns. The Suns, man. They.
Okay, the Rockets pick is in.
Okay.
Yeah, all those teams are the same. The Suns and the Rockets. It's like they had their little fire in little fire here and there. The Houston Rockets did win championships at one point, but they kind of just always been fooling around. The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns had 3-point guards for a long time. Historically they always had 3-point guards for no reason. And the Houston Rockets, they've been fooling around too. So they're just two franchises just basically wasting everybody's time. So to trade the Sun Gun and some of these guys for Kevin Durant, it's like, come on, man, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Now,
it's ridiculous.
If they take Donovan Clingan, then you would expect that they're going to trade Sengun, right? If they trade if they take Clingan.
Wow.
I mean, what else? I mean, what else would they do? I mean, because Sengun, I mean, you would think, or unless they're gonna trade Klingon.
I think they're more likely to draft Shepard and have him as their point guard of the future and be willing to deal Van Vliet.
Well, their pick is in.
We about to find out.
About to
Yep.
find out.
There you go.
Yeah, they took Shepard.
They took Shepard. There it is. They took Shepard, shooting guard out of Kentucky.
I mean, this guy shot 50% from three with six or seven shots a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a good defender. You know, Fred VanVleet, I always call him Bleed. You know, it's he's got the 24-25 year and he's got a 25-26 team option. He's also at $42 million, and with only 1 year on that contract remaining, that'll make him a good candidate to be traded next offseason.
But why though? Shepard is a shooting guard. Van Vliet is a point guard.
Well, Shepard is like a point guard, shooting guard combo. And Jalen Green's going to start. You know, there's this new wave guards where kind of like everybody handles the ball a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But if Houston is really serious about, they trying to go for Durant. If you're not trying to go for Durant, why would you want a young point guard? I'm not saying he can't be on the team or he can't be in the rotation. But if you're going for Durant and then you're going to ship out Van Vliet so your second year point guard can start, that just sounds like, you know, you're going in two separate directions. Like pick a direction. Sounds like the Knicks a few years ago.
I think they really wanted to get rid of this pick. I don't think they really wanted this pick. I think they wanted to trade it.
Okay.
And
So,
they still
like,
can. They still can. They still can. Right?
He's
Because,
short.
you know,
My bad.
what'd you say?
No, I didn't realize Reece Shepard is so short. He's like 6'1".
Yeah, 6'1", 6'2". Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they still can trade it. You know, they drafted the player now. So that means that they can trade them, and they can trade their pick next year if they want to, right? By drafting them. So they could still make a move if they wanted to.
Just
With that
so
player.
you know, his measurables, he's like, I think he was third off the standing still vertical, and he was number one off the max vertical in the combine this year.
Yeah, they're showing it now, 42-inch vertical. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like this, I think this guy's gonna be better than people. You know, it's not like remember years ago, man. Like, you know, you played 2-3 years in college, or you know, if you're a Zion where you're just a phenom, everybody kind of knows. I think like now the players, it's hard to really know who they are, what they do, the capabilities. But I've been studying this guy. I think this guy's gonna be really good in the NBA.
Okay. All right. Next on the clock are the San Antonio Spurs. Any ideas, Shuttle? What you think they might do?
They need a point guard. They also want to take the best player available. You know, you got Wemby, so but I'm gonna guess they go for Castle from UConn.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bet. You know, he's a real strong defender. He's not great from the 3-point line, but they have a lot of other good shooters. He's a mid-range, get to the bucket kind of guy. That's also a real strong defender. 6'6" point guard. You know, so these are the guys I was hoping before the Bridges bomb dropped. Like, man, maybe the Knicks will
Trade it up.
Because when the Mitch trade for Luke Kennard was floating around, or to the Hornets, I was like, yeah, good. Get that 9th pick, get that 6th pick, and move up a couple more slots. Trade a future draft pick, move up a slot or two, and Castle was major on my target list for the Knicks. I think the Knicks need a backup point guard.
Okay.
I do too.
Yeah.
So you're not believing in Deuce?
I believe in Deuce a lot, actually. I like him, but I like him more as a shooting guard than a point guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
But with the new developments now, though, you know, Dante can come in as a shooting guard. So if he comes in the lineup with Dante, I feel a little bit better about that versus, him coming in the lineup with, I don't know, who else at shooting guard that's not even on the team yet.
What do you guys think about dropping a Deuce?
Dropping him, you said?
Yeah, dropping Deuce.
I mean, if it comes to it, I mean,
you said dropping a Deuce. I was like, huh?
Touche.
No, but also real, we do need a point guard though. So I mean, Miles McBride is not really. He's kind of redundant with DiVincenzo. Injury, aside, we kind of do need to figure out the backup point guard situation.
Yeah.
So I don't expect him to need to take many minutes. He could even have some DMPs, okay? But when you're talking about the Villanova 5 Infinity Stones that you need, you got to have the 5th Villanova player. That's Kyle Lowry. You bring him in. You bring him in as your OG vet, the way we've been bringing in Taj Gibson.
Okay. Right.
Now it's time to get the 5th Villanova Infinity Stone, and you bring in Kyle Lowry. Sometimes he plays, sometimes he doesn't. He's there to sit on his bench with Deuce, talk to Deuce. Yo, you see that? Woo, woo, be in his ear. And for all the years, I despise the guy. At this point in juncture, it's the time to bring him in.
Yeah.
Vet minimum, of course.
Because I don't see Tom Thibodeau playing a rookie this year.
Not at all.
I mean, that guy's got to come in and be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see him playing a rookie this year, especially at point guard.
Yeah.
Right? Especially at point guard. I just don't think that he would trust a rookie right now at point guard. So if, I don't know. The Knicks got 24 and 25. Here's the good thing. The Knicks have...
There we go.
They have the ability to go and, they got Castle from UConn. There you go. San Antonio Spurs. They have the ability to go in many different directions because of the team that they have right now. They can say, you know what? Maybe we need a depth. Let's go with an older player. They can say, you know what? We have a team that we believe can contend, so we can take a chance on some young talent, guys that we think really, really have talent but need to hone their skills and stash them away so that they can develop. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have the ability to go in many different directions. In the past, it was like, we got to get a guy that can come in and give us something right now because, like, we only had 17 wins. But now you have the ability to really be flexible in how you add players, you know what I mean? And the ability to, help, give them time to develop and not have any expectations on them and stuff, So they're in a good situation there. And, with having the 24th and 25th pick, they could do anything. The Knicks have done it. I don't think they draft both the 24 and 25 picks.
No.
Yeah, I mean, 38 is up high enough where you can still get someone decent. And, I mean, I just hope the team is really working the lines with someone to trade that pick because, like you said, who has a plethora of future picks and also has a need. Like, one team that does fall in that category that may want to pull the trigger, I would say, is the Lakers. They need youth. They need to not play games and take Bronny with that first pick in the first round. They need to probably get that center, Eddie, which is they're projected with. But if they want to lock in on Bronny, though, lock in on Bronny, get him in that first round. Let his, you know what I mean? Let his let his swag be up with a first round pick. You know what I mean?
Phew.
I'm thinking pro Knicks right now. It might sound crazy, but it's good for the Knicks. So let's do it.
Listen, what's the difference in this particular draft between the 24th, 25th, and 38th pick? I think the Knicks might be just to draft second rounders, non-guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
Well, we also want to. We also now, with some of these trades, Burks is gone. Like they're not likely to come back.
Right.
Now Bogdanovich is gone. So right now we're looking at a bench of Deuce, of Josh, and Dante. Mitch is going to be starting. Looks like iHeart is out of here situation. So I think we got to draft a big man though. And I think there's some decent big men that are going to be available at 24 and 25, and the drop off for centers from 24 to 38, I do think is significant. So I'd like to see them, get a center with one of those picks.
Do you really think even a center is going to crack the rotation next season? You think there's going to be a rookie center playing behind Isaiah Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson?
I think that I don't favor Mitch very much, and he only has 2 years left on his contract. I see the team most likely bringing in somebody. There's already talk about Valanciunas, also talk about Drummond coming in, but those are likely to be 1 year stopgap type deals, and I'd like to have someone that could potentially be the center of the future.
What do you think? Do you think the Knicks have a chance to move up to try to grab one of these guys? Because Killer Ware is a CAA guy. He's somebody that they that's probably on their radar.
That's the one I want. I don't know how. I know Cleveland. I don't know. I don't feel like Cleveland needs a center. And I'm like, man, can you trade with Cleveland a couple of spots? If they trade with Cleveland, I think they can get Ware. And if they can't get Ware, Flipkowski should still be available, or even Missy would still be available. Those guys if I had to bet, Flipkowski, Ware, and Missy will all be gone by 24, and you have to jump up to at least 20 to ensure you get one of those guys. And the drop off from there for centers is pretty significant. And I'd like to see us get one of those.
Yeah. Listen, let's not X out Hartenstein yet. It's possible the Knicks are able to move Mitch and create some room to sign Hartenstein. Now they might have to come up with another few million in order to make it happen. Even if they do move Mitch, but let's not count out that possibility just yet.
Talking my talk right now,
and maybe Hartenstein, because I know he can get more money on the market, right? But maybe he has a heart like OG, and he's like, you know what? Let me try to see if we're building a contender here. I don't know how much more he can get. I don't know what that exact number is and how much more he can get elsewhere. I mean, if it's like a crazy amount of money, obviously.
Right. If the Knicks can offer 72, but he's getting 100, you probably got to go. But they're talking about OKC offering 80. You're talking about a difference of about $2 million a year. I told Steph last night, World Wide West needs to call some modeling firms or some product placement companies and call the wife, get the wife on the phone. Hey, listen, we need you in for some product branding. We need you here for a 2-year commitment, and we're gonna pay you $2 million a year. You understand? So you gotta find other ways. You gotta get creative.
Something. I mean,
World Wide West, what you doing out there?
Right. Make it happen.
Do you think the Knicks would? I don't know if Isaiah Hartenstein even cares about it, right? But I would think if he went to another one of these teams and they were paying him, he's probably going to be a starter, for sure. Now, he started last year when Mitch was out. Do you think if the Knicks say, yeah, you'll be our starting center, that entices him to stay? Starting center on, possibly a contending team.
If the Knicks say that, or if the other team says that?
The Knicks say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna start if he's here. I don't even know if the Knicks need to say it.
Okay.
I think if he's here, he's gonna start. Listen, I'm not sure who's out there giving a center in this day and age $25 million a year. I mean, come on. If you want to spend that much of your cap on a center at this point in the NBA, go ahead, do your thing.
Nick Claxton just signed for that same amount for Brooklyn, 4 years, $100 million. That's a lot, man.
Okay.
Especially for a team that right now they're looking to rebuild, to sign a center with they can't really create his own shot. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. But they have the money though. They're rebuilding. You know, they got a floor that they need a salary cap floor. I mean, I think that's a different situation.
They have no players. You have to give somebody something.
Right.
But I will say this, man. If I'm iHeart, right? You're not a tier 1 player. You're a center. You're not like the number 1 guy. You're not going to even be the number 2 guy on any team. So I'm looking at right now as this is your one time to get the bag.
True.
And you got to get it. And you got to get
I'm not going to fault him if he goes. I'm not going to fault him if he doesn't go.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying like the whole thing. Well, if you stay here, you're going to be the starter. I think this is going to be, it's going to be about the bag. Like, a difference of 1.8 to 2.2 million a year. That's marginal. But if it's a difference of 72.5 to 100 million, 110 million.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of here.
What do you guys think about like a signing trade or something like that? For send Hartenstein out and try to get somebody back?
I'm not sure if the Knicks are capped at one of the aprons. I think if you're capped, I don't know if it's the first or second apron, you can't do a signing trade. It might be the second. Somebody out there in the chat knows.
Yeah, I think it's also the team that you're trading to, that where they are in the apron, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out to Josh. He said the Knicks will be a top 5 offense and defense next year. Mark my words. Mikal Bridges will be an all-star within the next 2 years.
I agree. I think he's just scratching the surface of what he's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that he's only getting paid right now like $23 million a year, you got next year and then you got the year after that. The year after that, he's gonna have to get paid. The Knicks are gonna have to make some decisions in a couple of years about how they pay these guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll have all of their money wrapped up in 4 players. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, you know what I'm saying, we got a team that you got a team that you're looking at next year like, damn, like these guys can do some damage. You know what I'm saying? They can do some damage.
Let's go, Sim. Sim, let's go.
Yo, they can do
I'm ready for the season to start right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm ready. Listen, even if we lose iHeart, listen, I'm no big Mitch fan. I think I made that pretty well known. I don't even care with the rest of the starting lineup, with Dante, with Deuce, with Josh, whoever we bring in the backup center, we sign Precious, he restricted, we bringing him right back. Let's go. Let's go.
We're gonna be broke next year, man. You talking about taking out a personal loan just so you could be involved in the Knicks shenanigans, man? Forget about it.
I read earlier today, just for comparison, Beal, Booker, and KD comprise $150 million. All the Knicks players, I think the top 7 or the top 8 players, minus maybe one of them, comes up to like $125 million a year for the first year.
All right.
So keeping things into perspective, and when you see the type of team, the chemistry that we going into the season with, the defenders, I don't care about all that. We ready to go.
Yeah.
2025, let's go.
Yeah.
I think we're setting a good trend with the NBA too, because most teams are still like, even the Houston Rockets, they're trying to get Durant. They're still trying to chase these stars. Trying to get 3 stars, that type of thing. Knicks are they can't get the stars, so they've been more focused on spreading the wealth as far as the salary cap and stuff like that. So I think we might be setting a trend, because if we end up winning, then people are going to start to copy us and try to
right.
Imagine that.
The thing is, with the way that the Knicks built this team, right? Okay, so they didn't get the super duper stars. Kevin Durant and those type of guys. But Jalen Brunson has turned into a superstar,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
People don't look at Julius Randle as a superstar, but he's been an All-NBA player twice and an All-Star player twice, right? And now you got a guy,
It would have
Mikal.
been 3 this year. It would have been 3 this year.
Right, exactly. Would have been 3 this year. And now you look at a guy, Mikal Bridges, who you look and say, he might be able to get to that level, an All-Star level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so now you know, they did a good job of bringing in guys that they can build. You know, okay, this guy has talent, and I'm sure, you know, some of it was a little, you know, some chance, right? They didn't. I don't know if they thought, oh yeah, let's get Brunson because we know he's going to be what he is now. They didn't know Julius Randle was going to take those leaps, but you know, it was Steve Mills and them who brought in Randle, but you know, they did a good job of recognizing talent and saying, okay, we'll pay them what they're worth and see if they can blossom into something, and then setting up a structure around them so that they could blossom. You know, and Mikal Bridges can be the third guy to do it.
Yeah, no, he's right there, Sam. I mean, just think about being a first option and being a third option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's really going to have an opportunity to blossom. Just seeing his first year from Phoenix, you know, catch and shoot guy. He was with all those, you know, other players. He was playing his role. He got to Brooklyn, had a little more freedom, and see what he was able to do. Again, I think he's only scratched the surface. His mid-range game is on point. Wasn't as great this year as it was last year with the Nets, but I think that'll return to form next year. His catch and shoot numbers are really good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All I
excited.
know is I watched the Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago send 4 players to the All-Star game.
right.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for 4 players to get to the All-Star game. If not this year, the following season. Absolutely.
Knicks could possibly put 5 out there. Imagine that. You got Brunson, Julius, you got Mikal Bridges, OG.
Yo, you got 2 legit defensive player of the year candidates in Bridges and OG.
Right. Josh is asking for the link of somebody.
I sent it to him.
My system is a little too finicky right
Yeah.
now for me to try to do anything.
Yeah, I sent it to him.
Okay.
So we can get Uncle Fulio's take in here shortly.
I got too much things going on.
How do you feel about the Knicks gonna have the top defense in the league next year? And by the way, the Pistons, everybody probably already knows, drafted Holland second, but Knicks had the best defense in the league next year with these guys.
Or close to it. Yeah. That January, I think they were number 1.
And more than the number 1 defense, the stat I've been focusing more on is, plus minus, win margins. I think they have a chance to be one of the top win margin teams. I think the team's going to have very good offense, which may impact, you get some cheap points at the end of the game. You take guys out. It should be blowout city some games this year, man. I'm talking about blowout city. Let's go. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for tip off. I mean, man, I can't wait till summer camp. We got Jokic, coming in summer camp. Maybe he's the point guard coming in. You know what I mean? You can't forget about him. So yeah, man. Like, yeah, I mean, it could be a top 5 defense easily. Definitely could be a number 1 defense, but I expect the scoring to be up so much that just may impact the defense a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you got Mitch, shot blocking, you got Bridges, you got OG on the wings, you got Deuce coming in, clamping 94 feet of full court defense. Why not? Why not, Sim?
Yeah,
I think our defense is going to create a lot of offense too. We're going to be clapping teams. I think, man, we're going to be clapping teams. I can't wait either. I've been all night with the, just because I was trying to go to sleep like anybody else, but just the dreams I was having last night, man.
I was dreaming about this too. It was crazy. I woke up and I'm like, yo, Nova Knicks, these guys are in my dreams. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's great, man. It's like with kids again. You know, the sports. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring you back to your youth and give you a get away from your life and stuff, man. But we really like some little kids right now, man. And people thought that Knicks fans were acting up last year, man. You have not
Oh
seen
my
nothing yet.
goodness.
Man.
We ain't see nothing yet, boy.
I'm in the
Nothing
gym, baby.
yet.
I've been working out.
I'm ready. I'm ready for we want Boston chants off the rip.
Yo.
Right.
I can't
I'm
wait.
sorry.
I can't wait.
Sorry.
I can't wait.
This is not the year to be humble and to chill and to relax. No, we want Boston. This is the year to talk it and live it. Talk it and walk it. Let's go.
Yeah. I think defensively, having those two guys on the wings, anchoring either side of the floor, if you got Mitchell Robinson there, guys might not even get to the rim. You know what I mean? With those kind of wings, but you just got more length. Dante DiVincenzo was great and he's a good defender too, but he just didn't have the same length that Mikal Bridges has. You know what I'm saying? And that length means so much when it comes to closing out on defenders.
Yeah.
We complain about teams that can, that have those 3-point shooting nights on us. Now you got two guys with length that can close out. Julius Randle, 6'8", should be able to close out on defenders. On shooters. You know what I mean? Our defense should be able to wreak havoc on teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They should just be able to wreak havoc on teams. And it's going to be hard for teams to score with those two guys out there on the floor.
Listen, I know it's like some Keith Murray stuff, like making up words, but the switchability. That's what it is. The switchability. The switchability that Bridges can guard a point guard on a pick and roll, that OG can guard a power forward on a pick and roll. The switchability, that just allows you to just have havoc against the teams that you're playing against. So
guys like that are fun to play with, man. It's like having a good point guard. When you got a good point guard that passes the ball, that gets you into the game. But if you got guys that are locking in on defense, that excites the bench. Especially when you're on the road and stuff like that. That stuff could take over arenas, take over teams and stuff, man. So
take the crowd out of games.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that the team's been missing for so many years. Like the athleticism on the break. RJ will get a fast break every now and then, but now you got Bridges and you got OG. Like you got real high risers. We saw what OG did to Embiid. Y'all saw that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't want to poster on the wrong way. So man, I'm looking for some high flying action, man.
Yeah.
High flying action, defense, steals. This should be unprecedented defense generating fast break offense.
Yeah, it should be like the old 70s Knicks, the way they used to get the ball up and down the court.
Yeah.
So, Josh.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Josh, what's going on, man? It's been a while.
Salute everybody.
This man
How y'all
got a whole beard and everything.
Had to let it grow. Salute to y'all. Salute to the chat. Salute to the cave. This Knicks team is on the brink. This team right here is on the brink. This roster is on the brink. I can't say enough about what Leon Rose has done to build this team, starting with Jalen Brunson, the acquisition of Jalen Brunson with the tampering and all of that. But they have made a decision and they are sticking to it, and I love it right now. I love it. Love the trade, and I think OG Anunoby is a bit of an overpay considering the health thing, but they had to do it, and this team is on the brink to doing something special.
Yeah, they definitely had to do it. They're going all in. So, any other move that they make right now, all you can really do is trust what they're doing. They're going all in to win and compete and contend for a championship. You know what I'm saying? So, anything that they do now, if they say, we'll go into the second apron, that we're trying to compete. So we're going to go all in and spend the money to add who we want now.
Right. About the second apron, though, the Knicks are as of right now, hard capped to the first apron. So not the second apron, it was over 170 $1 million or whatever it is, unless they add Diakite and Jeffries to the deal, which I think they probably will do before July 6th to make it, so they can go up to like 182 or something like that, which, they give them a little bit more wiggle room to fill out their roster and sign other players. And I think there still is a chance for Isaiah Hartenstein to sign here based off of those factors. But what I will say, I think I had my reservations about Mikal Bridges playing next to OG Anunoby a while ago, right? I didn't like the fit in the starting lineup with Bridges at the 2 because I think, as far as high volume 3-point shooting, Dante DiVincenzo fits right there perfectly at that 2 spot. So if I had to predict what's going to happen next year as far as offense, I think the Knicks 3-point shooting volume will go down. However, the Knicks can always stagger lineups, right? You can always have different lineups out there, number one. Number two, just because you lose volume shooting, 3-point shooting out of a particular lineup does not mean you necessarily lose spacing if you have a guy like Mikal Bridges who can create, right? And I think he has the potential to create. And he is not, to me, I think he has much more potential than just being a 3-and-D guy. He can do a lot more than that, right? And I think that can open up the offense. Not to mention fast break opportunities, points off turnovers. I compare this Knicks team to the Phoenix team that went to the finals a few years back, where Bridges was on that team. They didn't have anybody that shot was high volume 3-point shooters, right? But they still was top 5 in the league in offense, top 5 in the league in defense. And most of that came off points off turnovers. So that's how I see this Knicks team playing next year, particularly with that lineup. And then having DiVincenzo come off the bench, I mean, that just adds another weapon to what this team can do. I think this team is on the brink, health depending, knock on wood. If everybody can stay relatively healthy, this team can really do some damage in the Eastern Conference, and they have to be top 2 in the Eastern Conference, projecting from my point of view.
Yeah, I agree. I'll just add, as far as the spacing, as far as catch and shoot percentage, he's not that far off from DiVincenzo. I think he's 43.6. DiVincenzo was 44.3. And in terms of made threes, I mean, Devo was number 3. He was number 13. Still top 20 in made threes. I think Devo had 283. He had 220. So
the volume
I think
is different, though, Steph. The volume DiVincenzo has double the amount of volume as Bridges. That's where I was coming from. But yes, you're correct.
Right. Yeah. Right. But that's because he's a bit more limited than that's all that I'm not gonna say that's all he can do, but that's the best. He's better at that. We got a player who can do a little more. Yeah, the volume is going to come down because he can attack the closeout. He's crazy in the mid-range. Not as great this year as last year with the Nets, but he's really good in the mid-range. And for his position, he's one of the top players in assist percentage for his position. So he's somebody that's going to move the ball, and he's going to get other guys looks if they're able to knock it down. So he's a bit more dynamic than DiVincenzo. And I'm not sure, Josh. You're right. I don't know if we're going to notice it, though. I don't know if we're going to notice it with OG, with now Bridges being able to set up Brunson, who I think was like 40-something% off the catch, but we didn't really have anybody who can, really set him up. I think we're going to be all right.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to be okay. I think I guess the volume is going to go down as far as the 3-point shooting, like the amount of shot 3-pointers that we take. But I think we'll be fine based on everything that Steph just said because of his ability to create off the dribble. He can do more than just shoot 3-point shots. I think we'll be fine.
I got a boogie real quick, so I just want to say peace to y'all. Good to see Josh and Steph. I haven't seen you guys in a minute.
Appreciate it, man.
Same here. Listen, we got to start saving up now for that playoff sweep. Because it's going.
We're doing overtime like I'm crazy.
Saving up now for that playoff sweep. We got to start early.
I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. Oh, my goodness.
$5 a day. Put it in your cup. But Bridges, man, like you said, Bridges is so dynamic. He reminds me of a Scottie Pippen, like he's kind of like a point forward-ish. The defense, he can bring the ball up, he can get to the basket, he can shoot the 3. I mean, like there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do out there, So Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's different than Dante. I think Dante was a great fit, but I think that Bridges will be such a dynamic fit on so many levels. Like, yeah, you might lose a little bit of the 3-point scoring, but the overall efficiency of the offense may be better because he's a better ball handler than Dante. He gets to the hoop better than Dante. You know, he'll demand more attention when he has the ball from the defense, making it easier opportunities for other people.
Yep, that creates spacing. That is like so. People like when people talk about like players like Dwayne Wade, right? Never was a good 3-point shooter, but himself created space, right? That's what that's the cancel out, for as far as 3-point volume. And not to mention when Bridges first came to Brooklyn, I think the 27 games he was there, he shot an efficient 26 points per game on 30% usage, right? Efficient 26 points per game. So that's why I want to say, like, he's not just a 3-and-D player. He can do a lot more. He has that potential. And I think once he does that, if he gets to that level, he's going to be an all-star. Based on everything that he's already been doing, plus that, you add that onto it. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, this is great. This is great.
Yeah. And I don't think OG is going to be required to improve offensively, but I don't think he's reached his offensive ceiling either.
Mm-hmm.
And the game that he went out, you saw some things that he could do, man. I was excited. I was like, oh, if OG does this the rest of the playoffs,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And if he figures that out and is able to do that next season and Bridges, man, wow. I mean, you have 4 dynamic scorers out there.
Now imagine, right? Everything that you were hoping, wanting, and looking for OG to do, and maybe even overexceed, you already know Bridges comes in doing all of that with a similar level of defense. So if OG could just do what he was already doing, and now we brought in Bridges to do what you were hoping for,
right?
We here.
Yeah. And the thing about the other difference is he has that offensive mentality. OG, I think, got to kind of like tell himself, all right, I got to be aggressive today. I got to be aggressive. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that with Bridges.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, we haven't really been following everything or announcing everything going on with the draft, but you can see it down at the bottom of the screen, right? The Portland Trail Blazers picked up Donovan Clingham. And then the Spurs.
They took Clingham.
The Portland Trail Blazers took Clingham.
And the Spurs took
Dillingham. Rob Dillingham.
That guy's electric, man.
So I would now.
I think there's no doubt in my mind that the Knicks trade, if not one, both of those draft picks today because they can't really afford them.
Yeah,
they have to fill out the rest of the roster. So there's
that's
like, can't wait to look to the next draft, and I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but for first round picks, you can go over. You can go over your cap, right?
So right now the Knicks are under, so they can still draft those players. That they can do it. I just don't think they will based off the money they just paid OG. Plus, if you want to bring Hartenstein back, and they will lose access to the taxpayer exception, which I think they're going to use that on the center. So that's why I don't think they're going to draft both of them.
Right.
So
we talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, I was saying
they can't go over the first apron. They right now they would be hard cap at the first apron at 171, and they only got $8 million to spend right now.
And you can't go over that to sign your own player?
No, your hard cap, specifically hard cap at the first apron.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully one of those picks comes in.
I mean, we don't really need them. I mean,
I don't. I'm not. The Knicks, listen, get some second round picks with unguaranteed, money. You're just gonna have money sitting on the bench.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like the Heatles, and it's gonna be like a roster of 1 year vet minimum bench players.
I mean,
outside the rotation.
I mean,
outside
got,
the
like,
rotation.
I mean,
8, 9 guys.
I mean, the
already on
thing when you look at the rotation already of who we already have, there's not a lot of room to add players with Tom Thibodeau only playing 9 players, right?
9 is a stretch.
But why are we saying Tom Thibodeau? Tim, this is what all the coaches do.
Right.
huh? Well,
This is
yeah.
what
I
all
mean,
coaches
but
do.
still, but if you only
I
have
just-
a 9-man,
I just don't want Tibbs to get this stigma stuck on him.
no, I get it,
We got to give this guy a little grace.
right? But his rotation is 9. You already got, all right, so let's assume Hartenstein signs. Let's just assume that, right? You got your
Okay.
5. Then you got Josh. Then you got DiVincenzo. And then Mitch. If Mitch is, assuming Mitch is still there. That's 8 players.
And Deuce.
And Deuce. And I forgot Deuce. That's your 9-man rotation.
Yeah.
So you're
Right.
not going to have a backup 4?
I think Josh Hart
Josh.
is playing backup
I guess
4.
Josh is going to be the
Yeah.
backup 4.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the backup.
Right? So I mean, that's so who else are you picking up in free agency?
Maybe re-sign Precious.
I could see that. I don't know. I could see that. Maybe they'll extend
It's
the
only
qualifying offer.
It's only like $4 million.
Well, his qualifying offer is 6, but still, I mean, that's, his qualifying offer is 6. If you extend the qualifying offer and, if he declines it, you have the right to match, but they probably wouldn't at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you got to waive him and re-sign him.
So I don't know, like what else the Knicks can really do after this. Unless Mitchell Robinson is traded to someone with cap space and they bring back draft picks or something like that. Right? And then you have some flexibility to make some free agency moves.
Right. But what do we need? I mean, the 9 players that you just mentioned, what else do the Knicks need? Probably a backup point guard. Maybe you can get a backup point guard on a minimum. What else do you need after those 9 guys?
The only thing that I would think we would need is a center that could shoot. But, we would have 2 centers already.
That's where the $5 million tax exemption comes in, because they can use that on like a center somewhere that's out there that can just do that, like give like a Sam Hauser type of role or something like that. I'm thinking Goga Bitadze. We played him a lot, from the Pacers and the Magic. He's going to be available. Drummond is not a shooter, but let's say we trade Knicks, sign Hartenstein, we can put Drummond right in there to grab some of those rebounds and do that. We can spend the $5 million doing that, but they have to just kind of teeter and figure out the money part.
Right.
Because now,
I think they will.
Yeah, and I think they will. They will as well. Because the Mikal Bridges trade won't be finalized till July 6th, so they have some time to tinker with the numbers. Probably add Jeffries and Diakite in there just to not be hard capped at the first apron. If they get hard capped at the second apron, then it's a little bit easier for them to be able to fill out the rest of the roster. But either way, I mean, this team has already laid their bed. So
Yeah, they've definitely done that. I mean, that's the only thing that I can see that this team would need, to help spread that offense out a little bit more, is a center that can shoot the 3, right? But then, of course, if you're going to have a guy like that who's getting significant playing time, you got to lose one of your centers that you already have. And I don't know, does Tom Thibodeau care as much about that?
good question.
Or does he value rim protection more than
offensive rebounds?
In offensive rebounds, right? Than a center that can shoot.
Right.
Well, I'm more worried about a center that can actually play the games and not miss them. So, can we just get somebody that's going to play and that's going to be here?
Yeah.
And somebody, I would listen, if we don't keep iHeart, I'll definitely be disappointed. But can we bring in somebody that understands the offensive game on the center end? Somebody that can move the offense along with a pass or something like that. I really don't want a center that's just going to rebound, play defense. And once you get deep into the playoffs, the defense doesn't have to really tend to you, and that player can roam a little bit. Like I really want a well-rounded center with some skill, even if they can't hit a 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you making some faces over there, Shuttle. What's up?
The Cody Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That's the his physical is on OKC. Jalen Williams. So, all the mocks was having Williams brother, family affair, but the Jazz just took him.
Just took him at number 10. Yeah.
And speaking of the Jazz, I want to give Danny Ainge a very big thank you for being the guy that he is and being so difficult to deal with 2 years ago and leaving the Knicks in a situation to make a much better move for the team. As great as Mitchell is, for the team to be where the team is now, Bridges is the absolute perfect complement. So Danny Ainge, I want to thank you. From me to you, from the heart.
Were you surprised that Brooklyn agreed to make a move with the Knicks, trade with the Knicks? I know I had said a while ago on a couple of shows, someone called in and I said, I think when it comes down to it, if you're a general manager, you got to do whatever is best for your team, even if you are trading to a rival. And that's what they did, because that's where they could get the most picks. But were you surprised? Anybody surprised that they made the move with the Knicks?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a possibility, but when I saw the compensation, I said, "Oh no, I'm not surprised." When I looked at the compensation, I'm like, "Oh, if the word gets out that you did not take this deal, you would have to lose your job."
Right.
And if the ownership was involved, shame on you for not signing off on it. You know what I mean? So, and speaking of ownership, we got to give kudos for James Dolan staying out the way, letting the magic happen. These guys took a lot of smoke over the years. Bring Oakley back, but still, right now the team's looking good. Continue to do what you're doing. Stay out the way.
Listen, he was out the way when we were bad, so. He's been out the way for a long time.
Yeah,
I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say this about the Bridges trade. I've said this multiple times. I said, listen, sometimes you just got to go knocking on doors. Like sometimes guys are not trying to sell their business or whatever, but you walk in there with an offer they can't refuse, and the next thing you know, it's sold.
Right.
I've been saying this for years. I'm like, who's available? Who's available? Listen, you got all of these draft picks. You got roster. Knock on somebody's door and give them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do sometimes. And that's what I thought they were going to try to do with Donovan Mitchell this summer. I thought that they was going to put the full court press on to try to get Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland. I never really thought that they were going to draft anyone in this draft. I thought that they were going to include those picks to try to pull off Donovan Mitchell. Instead they did it with Mikal Bridges. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Say, hey, listen, this is what I'm going to give you. If you turn this down, you're a fool.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what they did.
Yes, I wasn't surprised either. I think I'm surprised Sean Marks still has a job. He's going through another rebuild. He's been there for forever, and he's going through another rebuild. But I'm not surprised that they took the first round picks or whatever. But the thing is, a lot of Knicks fans, how many picks for who and all of this? Like when your team is good and you're contending for titles, you drafted in the low 20s anyway. So your picks are not going to be. People expect us to draft another Patrick Ewing or something like that. That's what it feels like. We need our draft picks. No, this team is going to be good for at least the next 4 years, like in the playoffs for the next 4 years. Like, what are we holding on to all these draft picks for? Not to mention, we still have some draft picks left over that maybe we won't be able to trade, but we still have them if we need to like bring somebody young in, right? Not to mention, knock on wood, let's say a year from now, we would like to move Randall. We can get some picks back in the trade. Going that route. There's multiple ways we can spin the cat here, but I don't understand this hesitancy from some Knicks fans not to trade draft picks. When your team is good, and I understand for a lot of Knicks fans, we haven't been good in a very, very long time, like this good. So they probably don't know or understand how that works. But when your team is good, I mean, who cares about draft picks? Who cares? You think Boston cares about draft picks right now? Or Denver? Or
Right.
Teams don't care about that.
Right. Yeah. Let me get to
listen. The team's been stockpiling second round picks though, and hopefully, you swing for the fences on a second round pick with a high ceiling, and you get someone like a Mitch in the second round or a Deuce in the second round that actually become a guy that sticks. So, it doesn't have to be a first round pick either.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, I got my man Tony on the line. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Knicks family, what's poppin'? What up, Sim?
I'm
What up,
good, baby.
Queen? Josh out the woodworks. Shuttle all aboard. Yo, Black is time. What a
You
time,
heard?
man. How y'all feeling? I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling
good,
great,
too.
man. I'm
Tony
feeling
always
great.
feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
Nah,
This is what I wanted, man. This is what I was asking for. I thought, number one, the fit was gonna be the best out of anybody that we've been talking about trading for. I'm not mad about what it cost. I feel like we was gonna have to give that up for whoever it was,
Right.
but there would be an adjustment. And this, I feel like no adjustment. You know what I mean? Hit the floor running, starting the season. We got OG back. I mean, we needed that with the Bridges move, but oh man, and we still in the draft right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we still got options there. I'm excited, man. I just wanted to check in with you guys, man, because I missed the fan, MBK fan. We back in effect. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nah, I mean, Tony, you called it, man. The whole time you were saying that's your number one pick, and then Donovan Mitchell was after that. If Devin Booker wasn't available, and,
Yeah, man.
And Donovan Mitchell was my one, and Kyle Bridges was my two. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm kind of speechless. I wish I was on the show, but I'm dealing with graduations and
no doubt.
birthdays and
Yeah.
doubt.
everything else. I'll be back soon.
Yeah. And does any of you have any issues with the whole Villanova thing?
No.
I think that's a plus. If anything, that's an asset to the team. That connection that they have. This is the first time I've seen the Knicks have players on the roster, like a lot of players that are winners. I mean, that bring a winning culture to the organization. I have no problem with the Villanova thing. I think that's great. It makes it even better for us.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it for the simple fact that we're not just bringing in the Villanova guys. Like, these guys are talented. You know what I mean? They bring more than just, I play for the team. Now, when Ryan comes back, because he is coming back.
Oh, Ryan's going to be back.
He is
Ryan's
coming back.
somehow.
You know what I mean? I might feel a little bit away just because that's the roster spot that's being occupied. But the guys we got right now, man, like, we know what they bring. Each and every one of them.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even going to feel no way. I'm not even going to feel no way if they bring Ryan back.
I mean, we're gonna have to fill minimum contracts. So.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you keep your guys happy sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You keep them happy that way sometimes. So I won't even care.
Yeah, you see what the Nationals be doing out there.
Right.
Oh man. If you got a roster spot for the Nationals, we might have to, you know what I mean? Ryan might have to get he can get the coffee, get the donuts, and keep everybody cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, go ahead and bring him back.
I do got a question for you guys, though. And this is not, like, directly to you, but I want you guys to answer, because I know there's been a lot of people, like, down on Mitch, got to move him, et cetera, et cetera. My question is, if we don't bring Ihart back, do you think we need to keep Mitch, or is it fill the center position completely with both of those? Like, I know a lot of people want to move on from Mitch, dump the salary, or even bring a player back. But if we don't have Ihart, does his importance, raise, or do you still feel the same way about him? Obviously, I know Shuttle. I know you gotta be healthy. You gotta play. I get it. But I'm just talking about the player and the talent.
I mean, if you lose iHeart, yeah, I think you got to keep Mitch, right? Because it's part of the continuity, and now you can bring in another center. You know what I'm saying? And if that center ends up being a better fit than Mitch, then you can always make the change. You know what I'm saying, throughout the course of the season. But I think you want to keep the continuity. You know what I mean? Because Mitch knows the offense. He knows what's expected of him. He knows what he's supposed to do out there. And then you bring in another guy that's going to back Mitch up, and then you go from there. But yeah, I think you got to keep it. You want to keep that continuity. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Keeping the continuity, keeping it, adding and building and getting stronger while keeping your continuity and your chemistry.
Right.
So yeah.
And one last question. Do you think with all of these defenders that we have on the team currently, OG, Bridges, Hart, do you think this opens the door for a small ball lineup? Obviously not starting, but just seeing it a little bit more with Randall at the 5, considering you can surround him with perimeter defenders,
perimeter defenders,
all
that's possible.
all on the court.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine adding Dante to that lineup, taking Mitch out and putting Randall with the small ball 5?
Yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
Go.
It's crazy.
Let's go.
You know what
Some
I'm saying?
teams will definitely invite the opportunity to do that.
Right.
Obviously, a Denver, a Philly, there's going to be a handful of teams that have, big men where, you're not going to really try to go that route unless it's against their backup centers. But yeah, I mean, you're playing against the
Celtics is who I had in mind, honestly, with not necessarily with KP in there, but the Al Horford lineups. I could see Randall being a problem at the 5 against Horford and being able to defend Horford adequately enough.
Right.
So that's what made me think of it, particularly Boston. But agree, you can't do it against everybody. You can't do it all the time.
And even if KP is out there, Randall can defend KP too, because KP's not really a bang him post up guy.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but with Tom Thibodeau, I don't see it being anything that's going to be used like that. I mean, maybe we'll see it in spurts, but I don't see that being a type of lineup that we're going to depend on for any important stretch of the season, or even in the playoffs. But definitely not. But even during the regular season, I don't see it happening. But it can happen. I mean, if we were to imagine that, yes. But I don't see Tibbs doing it. And
let's give a shout to KP at a quick sidebar. He's gonna miss the beginning of the season. So this is what we need. Off to a fast start, and let's get some front running going at that number 1 seed. Let's go Knicks.
For sure. Yeah. All right, Sam, I'm gonna keep the phone lines open for you. Hit me up after the show. I'm glad to see the gang back together. This is what I like to see. I'll be back shortly. Your Black is Time. Shout out to the chat, man. I miss you guys too.
Appreciate it, brother. Peace.
Tony, I got this blend on that Nas, Your Black is Time. Ooh, we.
Hit me up. Hit me up.
On the way.
No doubt.
All right.
Peace, family.
Right. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, let me see. We are, we just, what do you guys think about the draft right now being, first round today, second round tomorrow, and then tomorrow is 4:00, right?
I believe so.
I'm assuming it's 4:00 because of the debate, right? So they don't conflict with each other.
Right.
I love it. This is opportunity to do some shaking and baking. This is opportunity to get some deals done.
Yeah, no doubt.
If we do it all on the same night, there's no room to breathe, to step back, to get on the phones working. So now, you got all night, you got all morning, you got all day tomorrow till 4:00 to get a deal done.
Yeah. It is kind of nice. I do like it. I mean, especially since, you watch the first round and then you get to the second round and you're like, man, I'll just find out what happened tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now we got tomorrow, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's definitely good. Go ahead, Steph.
I was saying, what about the trades? Danny Avdija. How you pronounce it?
Abdia.
Abdija. going to Portland for Malcolm Brogdon. And to your point, Shuttle, I'm saying a championship team, why do you need, draft picks? But Minnesota traded with the Spurs for the 8th pick. And so what's his name? Dillingham is going to the Timberwolves.
And
who was in the Western Conference Finals. And they still bringing in,
they need a point guard though. Conley's a starting point guard. He's 49 years old. I mean, Dillingham is a super electric point guard. You put him with Edwards, that's an amazing combination.
And I guess it's good to you still have Mike Conley there who can lead the way, and then you can start grooming a young guy coming up. Yeah.
And what's crazy is I was looking. We were kind of talking. I didn't get a chance to say it, but I was like, man, they just drafted the point guard Castle. Why did they draft Dillingham? Talking about the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So now
he's more of a combo guard, though. He's not like a natural point guard. He can play both, and he's more of a defender type of player. Salute to Hard Will. That's his nephew, by the way. Salute to Hard Will and those guys over there.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to their family.
Yeah, that makes sense though. So we'll get the details on what Minnesota is throwing back. Okay, Timberwolves.
I think draft picks.
They traded 2031 unprotected first rounder and a 2030 swap, top 1 protected. That's a good move for the Timberwolves. That's a really good move for them. That's the thing sometimes, and like what we were just talking about the second day of the draft, the Spurs are at 4, then the Spurs are at 8, right? You don't know who's actually going to be available. Now you don't know who you can make a deal with, who wants this player. You don't have enough time to even, to maneuver quick enough, and you're not ready. So I'm hoping Knicks are ready at 24 and 25, though. That's why I'm even mentioning
They
this.
better be.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're ready.
That's far enough down the line that you should have 3, 4, 5 different scenarios mapped out.
They probably on the phone right now as we're speaking.
Right.
Yeah, I have no doubt that they're doing what they got. Yeah, they're dope.
I trust in this front office, man. They're doing what they got to do. Let me get to a phone call real quick. Silk, what's popping with you, bro? How you feeling?
Hey, Sam, long time. DJ Shuttle, Josh, Queen, how y'all doing?
Appreciate you.
Oh no,
doing good, man.
I'm going to call you, Sam. I'm going to ask you a question because I want iHeart back. I'm going to miss Mitch. And one of the teams that they were looking at to trade Mitch for was Memphis, but I see they picked up Zach Edey. So it looks like, because I know the Knicks like to try to do right by their players when they trade them, somewhere they fit. Mitch is from the South. Memphis would have been right at home. So I was thinking that's probably where they were going to send Mitch to do right by him. But it seems like that's gone now with Edey. What do you think?
Most likely, but there's going to be other suitors for Mitch, if that's what they choose to do.
Yeah, I don't want to send him to the Wizards. I don't want to do that to my boy. That's purgatory. I don't know.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
And Shuttle, let me ask you a question because you up at the point guard. I know Stephen Castle is Hardwell's son, his nephew, and Dillingham went to Minnesota. I was thinking for Minnesota, Castle probably would have been a better fit the way they played D, and Dillingham would have been better with Wembanyama the way he scored. What do you think?
Hey, listen, that's for them to worry about. But I think Stephen Castle is going to be great in the league, and I think that the Spurs probably just valued him a lot more. And but Dillingham, I think is going to be amazing too. I think him and Edwards will be a very lethal electric backcourt combination for many years.
And that Topic kid that OKC just picked up, ain't the one that got the ACL? So they just pick up a dude stash and dash for a year and a half. They ain't got to play him. OKC be making these small behind moves, man.
Hey, we can't. But at the same time, we can't like fault other teams for the moves that they make. Listen, it takes time sometimes. You know, like these little moves that just because we're lit, we're so lit right now, the Knicks are, you know,
True.
quote unquote on top of the world right now. You know, let's not, you know, let's give other teams some time too. You know what I mean? Let's give them, because you know we had to go through the same thing, the same process. So you just never know what a team is thinking
Right.
and what they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Because I heard somewhere on X that they said that iHeart is leaning towards us, opposed to the max offers that he might be getting out there. Because then that means we got to include Quick Jeffries and that Diet Coke dude in the trade we just did with the Nets and get rid of Mitch. That we got to do that. I think they just waiting on iHeart to say yes or no. They're not going to do that trade until he says yes or no. He's leaning, but he ain't said yes or no yet.
Mm.
Well, the difference between that is you add that Kide and Jeffries, that gives the Knicks a little bit more space, right? They can be hard capped at $181 million in total salary cap. So that's the implications of that particular thing. And I think as of right now, let's say the Knicks are hard capped at the first April, they somehow don't get Jeffries or Kide in there, then what the Knicks can offer Hartenstein is considerably less than what another team, I'm talking $10 million less per year. Basically, we'll be bringing Hartenstein back on the same contract he was already on, and that defeats the purpose. That you lose the incentive for bringing Hartenstein back if that's the case, right? So I think it's a little bit more layered than that, a little bit more nuanced than that. But yeah, the Knicks are going to have to try to open up some money, and that's why I don't think they're going to sign or draft any player in today's draft, because they want to save as much money as they can to not only try to bring Hartenstein back, but also fill out the rest of the roster. So, and we can still keep Mitch, because Mitch is already under contract. Right? You know, we're not trading Mitch to just dump his salary. I don't think that's going to happen like that.
But what's weird to me is none of these guys that we have on the bench is guaranteed. Zach Kite's not guaranteed. Clayton Jeffries not guaranteed. Shake Milton is not guaranteed. But we got to trade them. Otherwise, we're hard cap. We just can't cut them and get them off the payroll.
No, but like you said, they're not guaranteed money, so cutting them won't help us, right? They would have to guarantee the money to make the math work. That's how that would have to work. They have to guarantee the money.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. My little questions of the day. Nice seeing you. Welcome back, sir.
Appreciate it, Silk. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I do like, you know, just going back to the draft being on 2 days, like Shuttle was saying, having the ability to negotiate, network, you know, wheel and deal overnight, you know what I'm saying, to make some things happen. I think that's I think that's that's good. That's good for teams, good for the league, good for everybody, I think. You know. Hopefully though, you know, we haven't heard anything about I'm looking and searching to try to find any thoughts about what the Knicks might do. I don't see anything so far. But, you know, the Knicks are a team that kind of moves silently, right? I mean, this whole Mikal Bridges was silent. Everything that Leon Rose has done has been silent. Silent. He moves in the silence of the night. Next thing you know, boom, something's going on.
Except for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Shout to my old school heads. Real bad boys move in silence.
I think, but see, a lot of fans got to kind of get used to what's going on right now as far as the draft, right? Because he traded all these draft picks or whatever. Every draft, the Knicks are drafting in the 20s, so we got to sit there and wait. Just sit there and wait. That's what happens when you have a good team. Your team is going to be drafted in the 20s in the first round. So all these good players that are going off the board, these top 10, these lottery picks, that's not going to be in the Knicks' future. So I wish everybody that really wants to hold on to these picks and all that stuff, get it out your head. Like, the Knicks are going to be competing for titles, championships, something that our organization really has never really done in 50 years. Like, that's the new reality. So on draft night, I mean,
I don't know about 50 years.
But you know,
it's been a long time. You know, I know.
Well, yeah, it's been a long time.
It's a change of mind state, Josh. We got to be patient with those that you know have been living through the doldrums of disappointment and don't understand what it's like to draft 27th or 28th or 29th because you went to the conference finals or the finals they don't understand because they never been there. You understand? So yeah,
Right.
we got to be a little patient with them.
Yeah.
My patience has been running thin with these people for a long time.
And we have to also not overlook. I just put this in the chat to someone. We can't overlook the fact that you still have, while protected, you still got a Washington protected pick, you got a Detroit protected pick, and you got and there's another pick out there, isn't it?
I think the
Milwaukee pick went.
Yeah, I think it's the Milwaukee pick and the Detroit pick that went in the Bridges trade. So we only have the Wizards protected pick left. Yeah, the Detroit second round pick, the one that was like a high second, like kind of like a low first or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that went in the trade to.
Yeah, it did. The Milwaukee pick was in the trade for Bridges.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Milwaukee trade was in there, but I don't think the Washington or Detroit pick was in there.
The Washington's wasn't. It was the Detroit second round pick, the high second. I think that was the second round pick that they sent in the deal, in addition to a pick swap. So basically, the only protected pick we have left first round is the Washington pick. That's the only thing we have left.
What do you guys think about? According to Ian Begley, Mikal Bridges was going to sign with the Knicks in free agency. Now he would have been a free agent until at the end of not next season, the season after, he would have been a free agent. But according to Ian Begley, said the Mikal Bridges deal came together quickly after Bridges informed the Nets that he wanted to be a Knick. Bridges was prepared to sign with the Knicks, and his side was prepared to use that leverage to keep other teams from trading for him. He goes on and says, the Nets surely didn't want to trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, but Bridges' side was prepared to force the issue by telling teams he wanted to be with the New York Knicks, and his side made it clear to Brooklyn that he wanted to be with the Knicks to reunite the Villanova teammates Brunson Hart and DiVincenzo.
I think that was capped. Not the report. Not saying that he didn't tell the Nets that, but the Knicks are going to be over the salary cap the next whatever amount of years, even if they didn't get Bridges, right? Because of OG or just Brunson and Randall alone, if we keep those players, we're going to be over the salary cap. So we cannot sign players outright in free agency, right? So I don't know how he was able to swing that and get other teams.
But no. The thing is, his contract ends the same year that Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. They can when they have the ability to opt out, his contract ends that same exact year.
But they would have to accept their player options to make it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of this season right here, this is the last guaranteed money coming up for Brunson and Randle.
So
then they had player options after that.
Right. In 25, 26, they have player options.
Right.
Right. Now they can opt in, they can opt out. Mikal Bridges, his contract, it goes through 25, 26.
Right.
Right. So for 26, 27, the Knicks only have $37 million on the books.
Right.
Right. So he would have been signing a deal for 26, 27.
Right.
So basically he was saying, I'm going to sign with the Knicks in 26, 27. So they would have been able to sign him in 26, 27.
Well, if the Brunson and Randle would have opted out of their contracts and got new contracts at the end of this upcoming season, then the money wouldn't come off at the same time, is what I'm saying.
Right. But what I'm saying is, since his contract ends his contract ends 25, 26, even if they re-signed, they gave Brunson and Randle an extension, they still would have had enough money to be able to sign him for the most part.
Yeah, and
so
also,
that was the leverage that he used, I guess.
Just so I'm clear, this is what you're saying. Randall's player option is not after this coming season. It's after the following season, the 25-26 season.
No, his player option is after 24-25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with Brunson.
I'm going to send you guys the link that I'm looking at.
Him and Brunson are both. They play 24-25. Julius Randle is 28.9. And then he has a player option in 25-26 for 30.9. Brunson plays 24-25 for 24.9, and then has a player option in 24 and 25-26 for 24.9.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about if the Knicks will be able to sign a player in free agency at that particular moment, because you still got to think about DiVincenzo, Hart, all of that. You know, I think the salary cap limit would be like 110, 111, and I don't think the Knicks would have been able to do that. No, but who knows? You know, who knows? But either way, I think the Nets did what they had to do to get those picks. I think that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I'm happy. You know, it don't matter to me really how it got done. You know, just as long, I'm just happy that it got done.
Yeah.
You know, just happy that it got done. So right now, the Miami Heat, they're on the clock. Looking at the Eastern Conference, most people right now are assuming the Knicks are at least the second best team in the Eastern Conference. Do you see any of these other teams challenging the Knicks for that second spot?
I mean, you hear Milwaukee saying, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but they definitely have said that they're going to make some significant changes to their roster. Now, we got to see it, to know. But yeah, it remains to be seen what the other teams do. From what I'm seeing right now, I don't see it.
I got to tell you, if there's anything that's probably the most disappointing about that deal with Bridges, it's giving out the Milwaukee pick, because I've been banking on Milwaukee just bombing this coming season. I've been banking on Milwaukee bombing this season and becoming a lottery team and having that lottery pick. I think they're gonna stink this year.
But it was 5 through 30. So if they were a lottery pick, we wouldn't have got it. Am I correct? We need them to be.
It was only 1 through 4 protected. So if they would have been anywhere from 5 to,
Got you.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having an Eastern Conference final season and then getting Milwaukee's 8th or 9th pick. Like, these are the moves that the Celtics have been making, and I was so looking forward to that. And I still think the Bucks are going to bomb this year. I think they're going to be awful. It's going to be one of those teams like they were here, and then they just nosedived, and Giannis is going to be talking about getting traded, and but good luck to those guys.
Yeah,
Where's going to Miami?
I think Milwaukee's still going to be up there. I think we're better than them, but I think they're still going to be up there. And I think Philly, depending on what happens with Paul George, if they pick up Paul George, I mean, that's a team.
That's a good team. That'll be tough.
I mean,
they're going to have some issues staying healthy, maybe.
I was worried Philly was going to get Bridges. I thought they would bypass all the money or the expense of George, and they would get Bridges.
Well, they don't have the roster to do it. They don't have the players. They only got like three or four players on the contract. I don't know if they can be able to, and they don't have that many picks either. So, and then let's not forget about Indiana. I mean, come on now. I mean, I think we're better than them. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, just saying.
What are you saying, Josh? I'm listening.
Well, I'm saying they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a good team. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, the Heat are going to be a good team, and Orlando's going to be a good team. There's going to be a few good teams. Then you're going to have the upper echelon teams, like the New York Knicks. Let's go.
I will say this. We have to play the games.
Josh, we've been too bad and too humble for too long. This coming season, the humble pie is out the kitchen. It's out the fridge. I'm not playing it humble this year. We talking tough. We're going to talk and we're going to walk.
All right. So the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Anything less will be a failure, right?
That's where
they should be in the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Yeah, they should be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They need to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
They need to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
It is no shame if they lose to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, but you got to get to the Eastern.
You got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah,
see,
gotta
that's
get
the
to
guy
the Eastern
I wanted.
Conference Finals.
And you see what Miami takes this guy.
You know what I'm saying?
If Miami takes the guy that I was saying I want the Knicks to get, I feel like I was on the ball with this guy. And they just re-signed Bam out of buyout.
Yeah.
So why did y'all even take a center when y'all just drafted? Y'all just re-signed your center, but that's the guy.
Bam might be able to play a little 4.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Especially if this guy steps in. This guy's good, man.
How old is Bam?
Let's take a
I'm
look.
not sure.
I think he came in. He came in with Randall and all of them, right?
Did he?
I think he's in his late 20s.
Okay.
I don't think he's 30 yet.
Nah, he's definitely not 30 yet.
Yeah, he's in his late
Adebayo is 26.
26.
That's
Wow.
all?
He turns 27
Wow.
July 18.
July 18th, you said?
Yep, and he's 6'9", so I guess his outside shot has improved. So I guess he could play some power forward. He could play some forward.
Oh, him and Oakley got the same birthday. Yeah, July 18th or something like that, right?
Wow, 26.
Yeah.
Seemed like Bam been in the league forever.
Right.
Right. He was drafted in 2017.
2017. Man. But yeah, I expect the Knicks should be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So they're going to put Bam at the 4, put this guy at center. Don't be surprised you see that guy starting. That guy's going to be a starting center on Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The only thing that I could see,
good.
the only thing that I could see is if the Knicks have a rocky start somehow and end up in like the 3rd seed or something like that and have to play Boston in the 2nd round. Right?
I ain't trying to hear all that.
You know what I mean? But
So who would the second team be? That would be the question. Who would be the 2 seed?
I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody being the
Indiana,
second.
Milwaukee,
Philly doesn't even have a
Philly,
roster yet.
one of them teams.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I could see is if they got off to a rocky start or had something happen and they ended up being a 3rd seed and had to play Boston in the 2nd round. Something like that. Other than that, they should be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wait, did I just see Woody? Did I just see Mike Woodson
He was the coach, right? He was Ware's coach, no?
for Indiana?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Here we go. All right, Woody. It's just it's old Knicks nostalgia right there.
Yeah. So I expect do you think there's going to be how much of a learning curve is it going to have to be, playing, having Mikal out there with the group?
Not much.
Zero.
Not much.
Zero.
Not much. He fits right in. I mean, offensively, I would say it'd be a learning curve because I think, like Tibbs has been emphasized.
Yeah, that's what I mean offensively. Not really defensively.
He's emphasized, putting up more 3-pointers, right, the past couple of years. And the Knicks 3-pointers have gone up. But I just don't think they'll have the same amount of volume with Mikal Bridges on the floor because he can do so much more than just do what DiVincenzo did. DiVincenzo shot average 7.3 catch and shoot opportunities per game last season. 7, just in the catch and shoot alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's what Bridges brings to the table. So I think for that, that's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But the Knicks are going to they're going to score points. If not, just in the half court, fast break. They're going to take the ball and go the other way. It's going to be tough to score on us, and I think that's going to lead for offense. So I don't think it'll be much of a learning curve for Bridges.
Right.
Okay.
But Josh, what do you think? Like, I think Devo's probably still going to give, you think about IQ, 28 to 30 minutes a game. Even if he gets 5 3-pointers, 4 3-pointers, Mikal Bridges is going to get 3. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if the total volume goes down. Who did we have shooting threes off the bench? You know what I mean? So I think overall it may still, it may. I agree with you. He's going to get less, but you bringing in Mikal, who's going to get, I don't know, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And with this team, it could even be more, depending on how it's used, because you get penetration from Randall, from Jalen Brunson, and there you would think there might be even more kickouts for him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because Dante got a lot of his off of kickouts. Now Dante also got some of his off of, like he's got a quicker shot. So he can get his shot off quicker than Mikal Bridges can get his shot off. So, he sees a little slither of light and boom, it's gone. Well, Mikal Bridges may not get it off as quick. So, that's where I can see what Josh is saying. But even with Dante, Dante may even get more coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because, you look at that bench, I guess, probably going to be the best scoring guard coming off that bench.
Either way, it won't. I mean, whether they get more, whether they get less, it won't matter. The Knicks are still going to be a top 5 offense in the league, no matter how many threes they put up. I was specifically talking about catch and shoot specifically.
Okay.
That was a large chunk of the Knicks offense off catch and shoots from DiVincenzo. I mean, he was one of the best catch and shoot players in the league. Now, overall 3-pointers, I mean, it might be the same. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. But the catch and shoot part of the offense, as far as that adjustment for Mikal Bridges, I think that is the small learning curve that he'll have to get over. But either way, it don't want to affect the amount of points the Knicks score, because they're going to score points. They will score points. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to score points easy.
Oh my goodness.
They should.
And he's a mismatch on any two that tries to guard him. That's another thing. Like, I think that's where his all-star potential is going to come in. The position that he's playing, how he's going to get his shots off, who he's going to be going up against, and who's playing around him. That's why I see all-star potential for this guy within the next 2 years, Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
He is going to feast.
Yeah. And I think Tom Thibodeau is probably the right coach for him too. You know what I'm saying? Just from what we've heard about, how, I mean, just fitting in with the whole Villanova thing, but fitting in with the Knicks and how, the work ethic and those type of things. Yeah. I think, this is perfect scenario for him, perfect scenario for the Knicks. For the team, it should be nice. I mean, it should be nice. Do you think the Knicks, Josh, you said they're going to be a top 5 offense in the league? Will they have enough firepower to compete with Boston?
Yes, absolutely. See, I'm under the impression from last season. I think the Knicks could have competed with Boston, but I still think Boston had the series outright, because I think Porzingis, if that matchup would have happened, let's say the Knicks were healthy versus Boston, I think it would have been to 6 games. But I think Boston was unbeatable once they had a healthy Porzingis. That changed everything. That made them unbeatable. Now, with adding Bridges and then having those wings to defend like that, the Knicks can be able to be much more versatile defensively, and offensively, I think we can score. So I think now it's kind of a toss-up for me. I don't think Boston's completely running away with it again next year. I don't think so. As long as we stay healthy, of course.
Yeah. Got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. Yeah. And any other thoughts? Have you heard anything about what the Knicks might be looking to do with these 24 and 25 picks?
It's
they're going
to keep it. They got to trade at least one of them. After OG, they're not going to keep any of them. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that they even if they draft the picks, that if they're really trying to keep Hartenstein and they're trying to deal Mitch, that even if it's only one of the picks, that they may use that pick and Mitch in the deal.
Yeah, to me, I think they're flipping at least one of them. There's no way. I don't think the Knicks draft both of those players. I think they flip at least one just to try to save some money for the cap stuff that I spoke about earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it may not happen before they draft the pick. They may have to draft the pick and tomorrow before free agency.
Oh, right.
The trade actually happens.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to see him.
Yeah, Philly took a guard.
I'd like to see them turn it into a 2025 or 2027 pick or something like, or whatever the years are. 2025, 2027 pick. So we have something going, down the road. I'd like to see him do that with one of them at least.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, you gotta restock the cupboard.
Yeah. So what are we on? Pick number 17. Lakers are on the clock. We got Orlando, Toronto, Cleveland, New Orleans, the Suns. We still got a few picks before we get to the Knicks.
I think the Lakers probably very unhappy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they probably had they their thoughts that either Zach Eddie would be available or Ware would have been available. And both those guys are gone. Flipowski is the next best center. They need a center. They need a center more than anything right now. Anthony Davis has officially said he's a power forward and he won't be playing center. So
We knew that already, though.
Right.
But he had his best season, and he was relatively healthy last season as a center. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Any chance one of these picks, the Knicks just kick them down to 2 second-round picks? I mean, because even if you get 2 second-round picks, you don't have to guarantee their money. You can get them in, bring them into, bring them into camp, get them into the G League or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That way you don't, like Josh is saying, you don't have that money on the books. You not really kick them down the road, but you still got some young guys that you got into your system that trying to figure some, you're trying to develop them and bring them along, and then you still got the the 24 to 25 pick that you can use for a player. The Knicks have done well drafting late in the first round.
Yeah, they have.
An underrated part of what the Knicks have done in Leon Rose that a lot of people really don't pay attention to. The Knicks, outside of R.J. Barrett, they have not given a contract to any of their first-round picks. Obi, Knox, they basically wiped the slate clean with all of their first-round picks that they drafted during this regime, and you're talking about with RJ in the previous regime. And I think that's definitely helped them and saved them and got them to this point as well. Right, so they didn't value these first-round picks. I've been saying that a long time ago, that they don't want to give them that second contract. I knew it was cap when Leon Rose came out and said R.J. Barrett is going to be the whatever he said when they couldn't get Donovan Mitchell. I was like, that's cap. R.J. Barrett's leaving. There's no way you're going to keep R.J. Barrett here. And sure enough, that same season, so
yeah,
just saying.
I don't know. Let me see. The Lakers. Did they draft yet? The pick is in.
Somebody in the chat said they took Flipowski.
Yeah, they must have Verizon.
Yeah,
someone optimum, and that's like about a 10-second delay. shout to you though, whoever you was.
Right.
Okay, Dalton's good, man. I thought he would have been gone already.
And Woj, is Woj updating this year like that? No.
Well,
he comes on the screen ever so often, but I have the volume down, so I don't know what he's saying.
But on his Twitter, he was like, boom, he was announcing everything way before it hit the television.
Right.
On Twitter, they must have, once he got with ESPN, they said, look, you got to calm down with that.
Right.
You messing up the show. Right, you messing up the show.
Shams is doing it like way more often, so I'm about to notice.
Shams, let's check out Shams. See what Shams is talking about.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Shams is updating all the picks on Twitter like this. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Let me switch over to him too.
Yeah, let's check out. Right. I mean, they're doing a live draft special. They got like 3.1 million viewers on this. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear that, Sim?
I heard the whatever that was.
That's the Woj bomb.
Oh man.
Dalton.
Man, I'm not settled with the computer with the DJ set. So I can't give you the full blown Rose bomb.
Right.
You got the light one. Oh, they just announcing it. That was like 96
Yeah, it's a mad long time ago.
Shout to the chat. They on it.
Yeah. They
smash
they
that
watching
like button in
Shams.
the chat, y'all.
So the Orlando Magic are on the clock. We didn't talk about the Magic though, right? We didn't.
We haven't
talked about the Magic in the Eastern Conference. They were a surprise team in the Eastern Conference this year, and they're just going to get better, right? I think the playoffs maybe the energy of the playoffs or whatever maybe surprised him a little bit. But what are your thoughts about the Magic and where they might land in the Eastern Conference?
They get Klay Thompson. They get Klay. They looking for a shooter, from what I understand.
They got the cap space to make some things happen.
Yeah. What's their cap space like?
Paolo. Yeah, Paolo's one.
Yeah. What's their cap space like? Orlando.
Right now they're at 104 million.
Yeah, so they got $7 or almost $10 million in room, something like that.
Yeah, so Gary Harris comes off the books. Markelle Fultz comes off the books.
Oh, this year?
They're free agents. They're free agents now.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, you replace maybe one of those two with Klay Thompson.
Yeah, maybe we can get Fultz on the minimum, like Philly got Oubre for one season.
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind Markelle Fultz at all.
Nah,
at all.
I do.
You do?
Hell yeah.
What's wrong with Markelle Fultz?
Give me the 5 deadly venoms. Give me the 5-finger infinity Villanova team. Just give me Kyle Lowry.
Oh,
He don't gotta play a lot. He don't gotta play a lot. Just bring him in. That'll be an upgrade over Ryan. Y'all was talking about Ryan earlier. Instead of Ryan, you bring in the OG. Lowry will be more valuable than that if he needs to play every once in a blue moon. And I mean, if you bring Markelle Fultz in, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna play? You know what I mean? He's not gonna really play. So
I know he's gonna play.
Yeah,
he gonna play.
Think he would play?
So that means Deuce is not gonna play. Really.
Who's manning that second year?
Yeah, because remember Dante's on your bench now. So now Deuce is your point guard.
But are you happy with Deuce being
Josh Hart is playing power forward though?
Yeah.
I'm more happy
Josh
with
Hart is
Deuce.
playing power forward.
I'm more happy with Deuce than I am with Fultz. I trust that.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Have you seen Fultz lately?
I saw him this past year. He had some moments, but yo, when you got nervous tendencies, I don't want you in the Garden.
That was him when he was in Philly, Shuttle. That was when he first got drafted. This is a new.
He's playing in Orlando. Philly's a tough city. Orlando, nobody's watching.
He was younger. It was younger. He was younger in his career. Don't hold that against him. Yeah, Tibbs will get him right. He would be right.
First of all, he's probably going to get more money than the vet minimum. Second of all,
he would. Yeah, we probably
will.
That would be an unnecessary gamble.
And Lowry would too. Lowry's going to command more money than that too.
Nah, he's going to get vet minimum.
And he's a gamble too. This guy's barely walking. You saw Lowry in the line in the Philly series.
He had some moments. You telling me he didn't have any moments? He didn't have any moments.
Markelle had moments too.
In the playoffs?
He had moments too. I'm not sure about the playoffs.
Well, all I know is Lowry had moments against these Knicks in the playoffs. And I know he's the fifth 5 fingers of death for Villanova to come in and you got to have an OG, right? Who's going to be your OG on your team? It ain't going to be OG. You need a real OG.
Maybe that's something the Knicks are missing too, though. I feel like that they could probably bring in. So I think with the $5 million exception they got, I mean, I like Drummond to play that role. I would bring Drummond in if they lose Hartenstein.
Right.
That role because the Knicks are missing like that type of player. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how much it'll really help them on the court, but as far as like a locker room presence, I think they could use like
But can they get those guys on a minimum though, where they don't even have to use that? Is there some guys out there, locker room guys that you can get on a minimum? DeAndre
Jordan.
What's his like? DeAndre Jordan, minimum guys, locker room guys that you don't even have to worry about it counting against.
He better not try to bring Taj Gibson back. He better stop playing with that. we done did that like 3 years, bro. Like you gotta take it easy with that one. Don't bring.
I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is playing him. Like if you bringing him in on a minimum and he's out of the rotation and he's your locker room guy, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Just,
See, but that's how I feel about Lowry. You already have Deuce as your backup, and you have Dante coming off the bench. So yeah. All right, he's tired. He can't play a lot. He's old. I get it. I don't
Do
want him
you
to play
feel
a lot.
comfortable? Do you feel comfortable with McBride as your point guard? I thought you just said he was a 2.
Well, I feel better that I have Brunson, Bridges, Deuce, Dante. The collective, like just the fact, like if he's going to be on the court, right, and now he's on the court with Dante or he's on the court with Bridges, I feel like Bridges could bring the ball up some. Dante could help a little bit bringing the ball up, but I just don't think he's going to be stuck with, uh, extensive ball handling requirements.
But for the Knicks, when you think about Brunson's when he's off the floor, it wasn't about somebody bringing the ball up the court. It was about somebody being able to organize that offense.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So yeah, sure, Deuce brought the ball up the court plenty of times. He didn't get it stolen. He brought it up. But we need somebody to organize that offense. So obviously there's always going to be a drop off when your best player goes out the court. But I mean,
I think that'll be Bridges. I think Bridges will be like the point forward.
I agree with Shuttle. I think when we talk about versatility, I don't look at point guards anymore as like, man, you have to be the point guard like a Chris Paul, right? Someone to orchestrate the offense, someone to create shots, create. Right. And I think that's what Bridges is going to be able to do.
Right.
Whether Brunson's off the floor, whether Randall's off the floor, I think the Knicks added another piece that can be able to do that. And I think that defeats the purpose for a quote unquote backup point guard, so to speak. You know what I mean? I think they can do a lot more with that.
I haven't seen or seen how much he can facilitate that way. I haven't seen it.
Right.
So I'm not sure. Right.
Well, he can create shots. I think that's really what I'm talking about. Like not just being able to pass the ball, but he can do that too though. Facilitate.
Because facilitating to me is not just passing the ball. It's more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's getting things set, knowing who to get the ball to, when, and those type of things, those type of decisions.
What we need right now.
Yeah.
What we need right now, like that decision making. It's not about the skill set. I mean, skill set is important too, but it's also about the mindset as well.
Well, I think the coaches will realize the combinations of who they can't have on the floor together, where that's going to be too much of a weakness. So if you're gonna have, let's say, Deuce in that point guard, then we've got to have at least Randall or Bridges on the court at the same time, because they'll help facilitate the offense.
Right.
Or you just run the offense through them, let them ISO or whatever the case might be when Brunson's out. And then when Brunson comes back in, then them guys can take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Kyle Lowry.
It doesn't hurt in the playoffs to have a Kyle Lowry type.
It sure doesn't. Sure doesn't.
Nah,
but I don't think he's leaving Philly.
The thing about them playoffs, when you're in a tough series like you're gonna be against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm gonna put that out there, and you go in 6 games, 7 games, somebody's gonna be playing off the bench that was not scheduled to be in that rotation in one of them games. And they're going to be the difference maker in one of those games.
True.
That was Deuce last season, for the most part.
Right.
And in the playoffs, it happens. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a guy like Lowry that's already done it before, that could potentially do it again if, let's say, Deuce is, not playing up to par. You say, Lowry, get in there, see what you got. He hits a couple of shots, he draws a charge or two. Wow, okay, that's why we had him here, for this, not for the regular season.
Yeah.
Or Alec Burks, and let's say that game 6, Alec Burks decided to start scoring and doing his thing, which I thought that was the original reason why they brought him in. It's just that Tibbs got him in there late. He didn't start off right away. Well, I think he did. He played a little bit, but
he played a little bit, but Burks was stinking it up.
It was terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. I think Kyle Lowry's probably staying in Philly though. How many more years does he have left?
They just drafted a point guard.
So,
I mean,
but he's a rookie.
Right.
He years away. You know, I'm not saying he won't be in the rotation, but
Yeah.
Philly trying to win a chip too. They trying to
They
reshape
trying.
that roster and win a trip. I don't think you put a point guard. I don't think you bank on a rookie point guard.
Yeah. Yeah, they trying. I don't know. I mean, Philly's, I don't know, man. Tobias Harris he's a free agent right now, right?
Yep.
He is.
Free
Oh,
agent.
He is.
I
They
know.
not bringing him back.
Oh, no. And the
No.
Philly fans is happy he's going to be gone, boy. The Philly fans did not.
they are.
The only players on contract are Joel Embiid,
Maxey.
Paul Reed, and somebody named Ricky Council IV.
That's the guy.
Maxey's not in the contract yet.
Maxey is
They didn't
about.
sign him to a max yet?
Not yet.
They probably gonna wait to sign all the new players first and then sign him
Right.
last.
Okay,
Right.
that makes sense. Yeah, but he's gonna get his max. He's gonna get his money.
He's gonna get the max. He's gonna get the max. But
Right.
nobody else is under contract. Not Buddy, not Batum,
Yeah.
not Melton, not Lowry, not Mo Bamba, not Oubre. Nobody's under contract.
Yeah, that guy Ricky Council IV, the fans love him. They wanted that guy. They wanted him in the lineup playing against the Knicks in the playoffs. I've never seen him play, but you know they were, especially when Tobias Harris was stinging it up. They was like, take him out, put in Ricky Council.
Well, he was a rookie. He's from Wichita State.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So he was one of those fans fall in love with him.
Yeah.
like we did. Yeah, like we did.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Frank Ntilikina all over again.
Right.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
we
where
almost-
Philly's gonna go. What Philly's
So
gonna
we
do.
almost there. We're at 20 now, right?
We're at 20 now. Yep. Cleveland's on the clock. And what about Cleveland?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's another one.
I
Yeah.
don't know about Cleveland, man.
I hear they're gonna sign Donovan to a match. That he's gonna sign a max contract.
Right. But like,
I'm thinking
how much upside do they have? The team. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Nah, they're a middle of the pack team. They're like a 6, 7 seed at best.
Got rid of the coach too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'll be battling. I think they're middle of the pack, but it's another team in the East that's going to be tough. Like I'm not sleeping on any of these Eastern Conference teams. I think we're better. Like objectively speaking, I think we're better than them, but I ain't sleeping on none of these teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still got to play the games.
Mhm.
We still got to come together. We still got to stay healthy. So yeah.
Because that was us. That was us before last season. You know, think about it. We weren't at this level that we're at right now, but that was us, and then we made a run. You know, and I think these teams have it in them to do the same thing. You know, particularly when you got all-stars, all NBA players on your team. I'm not counting you out. Milwaukee, they still got Dame, they still got Giannis, right? You know, Miami, Bam, Jimmy,
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah. I mean, no, they are, all these teams got talented players. There's no doubt about that. You know, experienced, talented players, experienced coaching. You know, Tom Thibodeau's got to do his thing out there this year. You know, he thought fans was calling for his head now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, you go on one little 3-game losing streak.
I
Tell you,
said the same thing.
I'm telling you, one little losing streak, man, and boom, fans gonna be
The
on
Knicks
them.
take a little
Get 'em
while
out.
to gel.
Right. Right. You
No,
know,
we ain't trying to hear all that. KP's out this top to start the season. You got to get off to a fast start. Get that number 1 seed, and let's run the number 1 seed from beginning to the end of the year. Let's go.
I mean that.
I will say this: it's not like the Knicks. The Knicks ended the team that ended the season for the Knicks is not the team that's going to be starting with the Knicks.
Right.
So, I mean, I know we all want the Knicks to just hit the ground running, but think about how many of those guys was in training camp last year.
Yeah.
How many of those guys played together? We There was trades during the season. OG came, he was in and out of the lineup. Then Randall got hurt. Then it's okay. All I'm saying is it's okay if it takes a little time for the team to gel. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for all that.
Oh, now hold on, wait.
I don't got time for
What
all
happened
that.
to patience? What happened to having patience and all of that stuff? What happened to that?
Nah,
Come on, now.
this year, the patience, the humble talks, we gonna do the best we can. No, this year, Eastern Conference Finals, 1 or 2 seed, nothing less. Start strong.
I don't
finish
disagree,
strong.
but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it takes them a little time to gel. We got OG. OG was in and out of the lineup. Randall, out of the lineup since January, whatever,
One thing
27th or whatever it was.
one thing I learned as a young player playing with the old heads is when you could join a team with players you never played before and fit in, you're gonna always be an asset. And I feel like, OG came in, Bridges is new, but I feel like both of these guys are guys that is like, yo, young fella, like, yo, I like the way you play. Yeah, old head, because I know. Give the ball to the old heads. Get the rebounds. Don't hold the ball long. Like, there's certain things you do that make you an asset to a team, even when you never played with them before, and make you a very complimentary player, regardless of who you're playing with. And I think that OG and Bridges are these type of players. It's high IQ players. The stuff that RJ would do, like hold the ball, dribble all the way back to half court, try to get a basket, force the shots. Like, these guys don't do things like that. Their defense is top tier. They're gonna get fast break points. They're high risers. They're hustle players, high IQ players. Like, these are the things that make you acclimate to any type of players you play with. And I just think that I mean, all kidding aside, like, I hear what you're saying, stuff. Like, maybe it does take a little bit of time, right? But
It might. I'm just putting out the possibility.
I just think that the players that we're talking about are the type of players that I expect the learning curve to be a whole lot shorter, and because of how they play and the chemistry and the relationships that the players have, that's bigger than just on the court. I think will allow them to make this. I mean, if OG could come in and be that seamless, I certainly think that Bridges will come in and be even more seamless.
What about Randall though?
Right.
Randall gets off to. Yeah.
I want to tell you. So I want to ask you first. I asked Steph the same question last night. Did you see his interview with Melo?
Yeah, I saw part of it. Yeah.
I could tell you, man. Like, I felt like I saw a different person than the guy I've seen the past few years. I don't know about you. I feel like I saw a sense of maturity. I saw him speak highly of the team and how well the team did without him. I think he respects what they did. I think he also showed the support that they gave him. They called him, they checked on him. Yo, listen, when you're ready, you could be here. We want you here. We miss you. And I think that all combined it shows great leadership on the part of guys like Dante and Brunson. And I think he's gonna be welcome with open arms, and he's not gonna come back feeling like he needs to prove something. And I think he's gonna come in with a much more mature mind state to be an asset to the team and not mess it up.
You think that's gonna help him make shots though?
I think that him making shots is not the problem. I think the issue with Randall is feeling like he had to be the hero, and now he saw how well the team did without him. Now you bring in another, all-star possible player like Bridges to the team. Like, he knows, he hears the talk. He knows it's the Nova Knicks, so he knows he gotta, you gotta fit in line here, fam. Because if you out, we could do this without you. We could do something without you. We're not gonna go as far without you, but we could do something without you. So don't toot your own horn too much.
Well, he is looking to get paid.
He's
that's a part of it too. He is looking to get paid a max contract, and I think he fully deserves one. If I'm the Knicks, I'm unsure about whether I want to give him that as of yet.
Of course,
but he deserves one, like no doubt about it. So I think that's also a part of the equation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, Steph.
I mean, people talk about Randall. Oh, he got to fit in. He got to do the like. Yo, Randall is part of the head of the snake here.
Right.
You know what
That's
I
what I'm
mean? Like, oh, he
saying.
got to fit
Like,
in. They
what
see
are
we
we
could
talking
do it
about?
without him. Listen, if we had Randall and we didn't have OG, we would have did it without. You know what I mean? So let's not sleep on Randall and his importance to the team. Like, he just gonna come in and be like a super sub. You know
Right.
what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like a role. Like, listen.
Right.
Right. That's 23 and 10 and
Yeah.
asleep.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And I think, being in New York has matured, helped Randall to mature. And Shutter, I think that's part of what you're saying. Like, he's reaching that point in his career now where he's almost like a grizzled vet, right? I mean, he got injured his first season. He's been on bad teams. He's been on good teams, and now he's helped to power this resurgence with the Knicks. He's been booed by the fans. Like, he's gone through mad stuff. You know what I mean? And I think all of that's helped him to mature and become like, the player that you're hearing now. And I think that's going to help him as a player as he probably, maybe this is, help. He's going to. I think last year we seen him slow down a little bit, especially like in January, slow down a little bit. Didn't have to feel like everything was on him. You know what I'm saying? Could make better decisions. And I think we'll probably see that even more this year. Right, as things, just slow down to him. Everything's not such a, so much anxiety for him. Like, you remember that first year, he was just like anxious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was just like going super fast. Like his body was going faster than his brain could think. You know what I mean? And
taking the ball out at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, pass it 1,000 miles an hour and then run over to you to set the screen. It's like, yo, what are you doing? Yo, it was crazy. But he's been able to learn every year, and is figuring out how to be, one of those one of those leaders out there. So yeah, I think I don't know. Every player is going to be looking for to get their stats. They got their career and things like that. But I don't see him trying to force anything. I think he's going to play with the team. Notice there's a lot of talent on this basketball team here, and if we all play the right way, we can win. You know what I mean? And I think they're all going to come in with that mindset.
Right.
All of them.
Pelicans on the clock. I think they're going to take Collier, point guard from USC.
You think Brandon Ingram is staying there? You think they're keeping him?
No. I heard they were moving him.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard they're looking to move him too.
I know he hoped he go to LA where he can get that good ooey. that boy.
Yeah.
I thought he had a condition. Now, he just on that gas. Man. So we only a couple of picks away. So now that we only a couple of picks away, I don't know. We're at 21.
Yeah, we're at pick 21 now, so we're like 3 picks away.
It might be the center from Baylor, Missy.
Okay.
It might be. This is kind of what I was thinking might be a possibility. Deron Holmes, power forward. He's an upperclassman, which is typical of the Knicks picks.
Missy
Yep, they got Missy.
just got picked by the Pelicans.
This would have been a good spot for Mitch. He's from New Orleans. They need a center.
They were talking about that. Well, I know I was talking about that. I was like, yeah, man, just trade up a few spots. I thought Ware might have still been here at this pick. But Deron Holmes, though, to the Knicks, he's the second-rated power forward in the draft. 20 points a game, 8.5 boards a game, almost 39% from three, 54 from the field, 71 from the line, 2 blocks a game at Dayton. 21 years old. And Yeah, I mean, backup power forward. Now maybe instead of Precious, or even if you bring Precious back, maybe you got that guy, Deron Holmes. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. All right. On the clock right now, the Phoenix Suns. They're on the clock.
They need everything.
They need a leader.
They're gonna take. They're
I mean,
gonna
they're
take
not
the
going to
point
get
guard.
one in the draft.
They're gonna
but-
take the. They're gonna take the point guard from Marquette, because they got scorers. They got Beal, Booker, and KD, and they have a center too, I believe. So
Yeah.
they need a
They
point
need
guard. They need a point guard that can get them the ball. That's not going to
Right.
come.
his name is Chris Paul.
Oh,
They need
Right.
they need somebody with experience with those
yep.
guys.
Yep. They need somebody they're going to respect.
He ain't coming back.
They need somebody they're going to respect. I mean, with those guys, how do you get
CP not
swept?
retiring?
Huh?
CP not retiring?
I haven't heard that.
Golden State can't bring him back and expect to keep Clay. They got to make some decisions too because they are way above the second.
Right.
So they gotta figure them out. But I don't see them bringing Chris Paul back.
Nah, Missy, he's a good shot blocker. He's raw, but I wouldn't have been mad if the Knicks got him. Because if whether you sign Hardenstein or not, if you sign him, you're trading Mitch. If you lose him, you got Mitch, and you need a backup center. And even if you get a vet, you still need a young guy to start grooming.
Yeah.
So the Knicks have Shake Milton under contract next season as well. I didn't know that. I thought he was.
He is under contract?
He is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Basketball Reference. It says he's on the contract for $5 million. Let me take a look.
I thought for $5 million. So I'm looking at.
That's good. To include that in the deal.
I'm looking at Hoops Hype, and they don't have him on here for under contract.
Yeah, they got him.
I was looking at Basketball Reference. So yeah, probably not the right one to look at.
So I see that the Knicks have, other than Randall Brunson, now Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Precious Achiuwa is a qualifying offer, $6.2 million. Jericho Sims, there's a team option for $2 million.
Right.
Deuce is on the books for 4.7. Daquan Jeffries is on the books for 2.4, and then Diakite is on the books for 2.2.
I think Jeffries is a team option.
Yeah.
They already locked.
Right, my fault. Sims, Jeffries, and Diakite are all team options. Right, they're all team options. Nobody else is on the books.
How do you get that $5 million?
What's that website you looking at?
Hoops Hype.
Oh, you're on Hoops Hype. Okay.
Yeah.
So for $5 million, that's good. So hopefully they can use that in the deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's guaranteed money. They would have to pick it up in order to be able to use it.
Right. May not, and that's what it might be. It may not be guaranteed money. They may have to, a certain date that they have to guarantee that money. And normally that's like June 28th, June 30th, somewhere around there, a couple of days before free agency when you have to guarantee those contracts. Yeah. So
in 2024, he'll carry a cap hit of $2 million.
Who will?
2.093.
Who?
Shake Milton.
Shake Milton?
Yeah, he signed a 1-year, $552,000 contract, including $552 guaranteed, and then the average salary of $552 in 2024-25, while carrying a cap hit of 2.093. So I guess we're talking about partially guaranteed.
Yeah. And then I guess if it's partially guaranteed, if and then by a certain date, the Knicks would have to guarantee it for them to get the rest of the money, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Knicks need to hurry up and draft and stop messing around and make something happen.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, where we at? Pick number 22. Then we got 24 and 25 back to back. One of those picks is going to be, they're going to trade with someone to slide it down. It's hard for me to see it. They got to.
Yeah.
Or they'll draft them both and then trade one later.
Right.
Right.
Who's starving for a pick? Maybe Philly. Philly needs players, and this is a way to help them get someone cheap versus free agents.
Okay.
Not that we want to help Philly, but and they're picking at 41. So maybe you give them one of those picks and get a future first way down the road, 2029.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who?
Oh, Ron Holmes goes to the Suns. Oh,
Who needs picks?
Philly.
But who else?
The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Philly needs picks more than anybody. They're the team. They're the team that doesn't have a team.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they need picks. They got cap space. They can sign players that way.
Right.
Washington already has a second pick in the first round.
Yep. They pick after us.
Yeah, I mean, Suns need players, but they're picking at 22, so they want to jump right back in. Maybe let's see. Do they have a pick? They do have a pick in the second round at 51. Indiana's got a gang of picks. Indiana got 3 second-round picks.
Phoenix needs picks.
Maybe. I mean, Indiana has a strong team. Maybe they want to jump up into the first round.
Listen, we're gonna be disappointed when we get to the next pick and they trade down to 28.
That's what they do. That's what the Knicks do.
They see a player they like. They project is not going to be early.
Right.
And they can get him with that other pick.
Slide it down and bring in assets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised Phoenix did not take Kolik. Milwaukee, I'm going to look for them to probably take Fiprowski. They got to replace Brook Lopez at some point.
All right, Milwaukee's on the clock.
Knicks in the batter's box.
So OG Anunoby's salary out of the 5-year deal, I think Tommy Beer just posted it. So next year he'll make 36.6. Following year 39.6, 26, 27, 42.5, 27, 28, 45.4, and 28, 29, 48.4. The final year contract.
Okay.
All going to be somewhere around 23 to 26% of the salary cap in every year. That's a lot of money for a guy. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
Say that again, Josh. I think I missed some of it. Say that again.
I'll tag you in the same. I'll send it to you. But yeah.
Yeah, and that 42.5 per on average. That you're right. Yeah. That is a lot.
That's a lot. That's what I'm telling you, boy. Brunson and Randall, boy, they getting paid.
Right.
They getting paid when it's their time. If OG got that, they getting paid.
For sure, Randall, but they're talking about Brunson taking less because he has a descending contract and his next contract can be built off his final year, which that would help the team tremendously.
Right.
That would That's $100 million difference right there. 120 something million.
Now, I seen something about him possibly like opting into the contract, and then obviously there'd be an extension after that, right? Opting into that $24.9 million. Yeah, I could see him doing that.
29.
24.9. It's 24.9.
Yeah. Right. And then altogether, it'd be a $156 million contract that he will get altogether instead of him opting out, and it becomes 270. Right? Like, that's a large difference. I sent it to you, Sam, on Twitter.
Okay.
X.
Let's see. 36.6, 39.6, 52.5, 45.4, and then the final year is a player option of 48.4. So that final year is almost 50 million. It better work. It's gotta work. It's gotta work. But I mean, but this is what you got to do. You know, when you reach that time and you feel like you've got the team, you got to go all in and do it. Because if we would have let him walk, you know, if we would have let him walk, you know, it'd have been bad. You'd have been in the same spot, but lost assets, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
That wouldn't be able to sign players in free agency either. Like big time, would be still over the salary cap. So even though that large chunk of money is coming off, we still wouldn't be able to go out and just sign a free agent.
yeah.
So yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But I do think Mikal would have been a easy, seamless transition into that 3 spot, just like worst case scenario. Mikal would have fit right into it.
Yeah, he would have fit in, but it would have been equilateral though, right? It would have been, you know, maybe a little bit better because he's a better offensive player, but you know, but like it would have been, you know, you would have put Mikal there, and then you would have had Dante at the 2 again. It would have basically been the same team. You know, maybe a little better because Mikal is better offensively, but for the most part, the same team. You know what I mean? In order to get better, you had to have OG too for the team to get better, significantly better.
Here we go on the clock. They're about to announce Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. The pick is in. I see the pick is in.
And I can't believe who they took. They went international. I'm not that familiar with that guy, but man, I'm very surprised. Point guard Kolek still on there, as well as Isaiah Collier. Collier's pretty good. I thought it was a chance Milwaukee would take him as a possible replacement for Damian Lillard or for Palski, but they went international. So, what you think, Josh? Any predictions on the Knicks picks?
I don't think they drafted him. I think they're going to trade him. So
you think they're going to be? You think they're going to trade him right now before they select it?
Well,
they took AJ Johnson.
Yeah, AJ Johnson, Milwaukee.
I don't know, Shuttle.
I mean, it don't seem like there's a lot of time for them to do it now, unless it's already done.
Knicks are trading 24 to the Wizards.
24 to the Wizards?
Yeah.
Who said that? Shams? Woj?
Yep. I knew that was happening right on cue.
To the Wizards.
Well, Wizards are at 26, so I would imagine that's a swap.
Yeah, maybe.
That means we'll get something.
That means we're getting something back. So the Wizards want somebody at that spot, and the Knicks said, "We'll take him. we'll take him if you don't give us a second round pick or something like that." Right. You know, that's the only thing I could think of, unless there's something more that's going to happen.
Let's see.
Right, unless there's something more that's gonna happen.
Right.
See, anything else comes out about it.
Washington is targeting Keon George.
Yeah, Keyshawn George.
He's good.
Yeah.
From Miami.
Yeah, so I wonder what
for 25 now.
So I wonder what else the Knicks are getting from Washington. What are the Knicks getting from? It's got to be a second round pick. I mean, like number 26 in a second round pick or something like that. Or unless the Knicks are just like, just give us 2 or 3 second round picks and we're going to pick with number 25, you know?
Let's see. Washington doesn't pick until 44 in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need that to be a future first round pick.
That's what I'm saying. You know, right? Knowing the Knicks, knowing Leon Rose and them, they went for something in the future.
Yeah, we could go down. We could go down to that 26 pick. That's fine. And then do another deal from there. You know, listen. I don't know if you heard the talk. There's a lot of talk about this kid Dunn from Virginia, 6'7" small forward.
Brian Dunn.
Yeah, he's kind of one of these Josh Hart types. You know what I mean? He's physical. He plays defense. He hustles. He gets streaky. Makes some shots, but he's not really a shooter. Like, I like him, but I don't like him on a team with Hart already for this many years. Like, Hart's already going to be here for 4 years. Like, we don't need another Josh Hart.
But you got another wing out there. You know, OG Anunoby with that. I don't want to keep saying it, but it's good to have as many wings as you can. You know? I'm just gonna say it like that. I ain't gonna say anything else.
Right.
I hear you, but give me a wing like Terrence Shannon from Illinois. That's a shooter. You know, he's a senior. He got experience. 36% from 3, 80% from the line. He scored 23 points a game playing in the Big Ten.
So from Shams, it says Knicks traded 24 to Wizards for 26, 51, and George is going to go to the Wizards at 24. So we get 26. So we just drafted back, pushed it back.
Push it back. So we get 26 and 51. So we get second round pick. Because the Knicks didn't have any picks in the second round this year.
No, we have 38.
Oh, we got 38?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. So hopefully 51
so
could be a draft and stash.
Right.
I don't know how this helps the Knicks as far as financials, though. They're still drafting 26th.
Still drafting 26th.
For now. Remember that Grimes draft? How many times did they trade down?
Up and down and back. Oh yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, all over the
I like
place.
it though. I like it. Listen, I come from playing poker and chess, so you know you gotta be able to make these type of moves to, you know, keep everybody on their toes. And when you start moving like that, it's like you confuse people. They don't know what you're doing. Who's coming or who's on first, what's on third. You know what I mean? So I'm all for it. So let's see what they do here. So Wizards are gonna take who we think they're gonna take.
They're gonna take the Keyshawn George.
They're gonna take George. Okay, good. They got a power forward / center. And they're gonna take George, who's a small forward. That sounds good. Shooting guard, but small forward, 6'8", freshman.
So
I'm disappointed missing Deron Holmes.
This is why the Wizards probably traded Abdia, because they knew that they were going to make this pick. They're going to make this move, right?
Yeah, and they probably figured we don't need that second round pick. That's not going to be anybody that makes our team anyway. We'll give it away.
Yeah, right.
So the original pick, I was kind of excited about for the Knicks as a backup power forward, and I think I told you about this one, Steph. Tyler Smith, 6'10" power forward. You know, he's got a good shot. He's in the G League. You know, shot blocker, and he's got a nice outside touch. Of course, he's a lefty. It's like everybody that joins the Knicks, it seems. Yeah, not bad.
Woj is
The Woj Bobs is dropping, huh?
he's saying something. I have the volume down, so I don't hear it.
The Woj bomb.
So the pick is in for the Knicks, and we all expect it to be Keyshawn George.
I'm about to mute you guys for a second.
I'm gonna just rewind it later on and check it out. Rewind it later on and check it out. Yeah. And they're saying out here the Knicks need a playmaking guard and front court depth. I mean, I guess that's kind of accurate if you think about it. A playmaking guard, front court depth.
Right. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah. I guess that's accurate.
You need a power forward, and you potentially need a center. So front court depth is number one, and the playmaking guard is not a far distant number two.
Right. Yeah. And so there it is, Keyshawn George, wing player from Miami. The Knicks select who's being traded to the Washington Wizards. And
You
then
don't even know it yet.
He don't even know it yet. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah,
all of America is looking and watching him. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be. Don't put the hat on, because you know what I'm saying.
You don't think his agent
Maybe
told him?
So I guess my question is why if all right, let's see. He's probably gonna put a Knicks hat on, right?
Right.
So if his agent probably told him, they got the Knicks, logo all over the place, you would think he probably knows. Why does the NBA go through with it like this?
Because it hasn't been finalized.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because it hasn't been finalized. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see what the Knicks do next. They now have 25 and 26. The Wizards will be drafting for the Knicks, though, in 26. Yeah, it'll be the Wizards drafting for the Knicks. So whoever the Wizards draft at 26, that player is going to go to the Knicks. Yeah.
The Knicks are in talks on moving 26. They're selecting at 25 now. So they're going to still move 26.
Move 26.
According to Woj.
According to Woj.
Right.
Okay.
So this pick, whoever this is who we're actually going to have.
Right. And so moving that pick, did he say moving it for what?
No, they're in talks on moving 26. They hasn't come out with anything.
Hasn't come out with anything yet. I wonder who.
Right.
And for what?
I'm gonna go with Knicks taking power forward Tyler Smith. And I'm gonna go with the wing Terrence Shannon as my option 2.
Okay. And of course they're talking about the trade. Ryan Dunn is still on the board.
Oh, Woj just updated. He said the Knicks are planning to pick at 25 and 26 now. So they went back.
Okay, the Knicks will now be, I see it. The Knicks will now be selecting at number 25 and 26. Okay. So basically they just pulled an asset, right? They weren't interested in Keyshawn George. They have other people they were interested in. They just pulled the asset out of it. That number 51 pick.
Draft instead.
All right. So Knicks are on the clock with the 25th pick. Thoughts on what they might do?
Will they take the center, Flipowski, though?
I think they take Dunn.
Done.
I think they take Dunn.
Greg
is saying Dunn and Filipowski. Gotta be.
Yeah. Tom Thibodeau likes those kind of players.
He likes players like Dunn.
He likes players like that.
He likes players. Yeah. I think that I like Tyler Smith, but I don't know if Tibbs is going to love Tyler Smith, though.
Yeah.
I don't think Filipowski is going to be one of the picks. I don't think so. Richard Jefferson. Nick Hayden number 1.
They always pull out Richard Jefferson when it's time to talk to Knicks. Always. Richard Jefferson, Reggie Miller.
Nah, Richard Jefferson knows how to incite the riot.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So let's see, the Knicks going to take up the whole clock.
Well, you got 2 picks,
right?
So you got 2 picks, so you got, they're probably trying to get that deal for the other pick done.
Yeah.
They probably know who they're picking with this first one. So let's get the deal done for the other pick. If we can.
Yeah. Jack City said, no Bronny, don't. Ain't no way to they're not taking Bronny at this stage, man. Come on, Shuttle. Come on, man. Maybe at 51?
Nah, don't do it. What about 38?
I don't like what Wojcicki put out just now.
What did he put out?
Knicks are targeting a Frenchman.
we don't need come on now.
Oh, that's Bobby Clinton.
18. Oh, oh man.
Oh no, he's from Sweden.
The Knicks are targeting French guard Pacome Dadiet. I don't know. Dadiet.
Yeah, ask Evan Fournier.
Pacome Dadiet.
6'7".
Yeah, that's definitely a draft and stash where you don't got to pay him, and the money doesn't hit the books.
Might be.
But no, his money's gonna hit the books. He's gonna be guaranteed. He's a first round pick. He's gonna have some guaranteed money.
Yeah, but not if he's not on the roster. If he's not here and he's playing in Europe still.
I didn't know you can do that with first round picks, but yeah, I'm sure you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And done at 26, maybe.
I mean, I guess that's the thing. They could have went either way with whoever they.
I like Johnny Furphy. I mean, I'm surprised he's didn't go a little higher. He's a European player, but he played at Kansas. He got a good shot. He's pretty athletic, more than you would think when you look at him. I'm surprised he's still there.
This kid is 18. This Pacome is 18 years old.
18 years old.
He was projected as an early second round pick.
Okay.
They get younger and younger, Sim, don't they?
I'm telling you, man. 18 years old. When's his birthday?
Wow.
So, 2006.
He turns 19 in July 27th.
July, okay.
6'9" wing.
All right. Hey, listen, the Knicks have done well with these late round picks, man. You know what I mean? Bringing a young guy that you can, develop. See what he's about. Hopefully we get a chance to see him, see him in camp, see him in the G League.
So I think you might be right. He could be stashed over in Europe, and then at 26 is who they're really going to get, somebody that's really going to be on the roster.
Or they may trade the 26 pick and trade down into the second round too. I mean, like we were saying earlier, ideally the team can keep iHeart, right? So if they don't have to put this money on the books, that increases that possibility.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think it's a good chance he probably, like you're saying, is stashed overseas for a couple of years. But also he's a first round pick. It's not like he's a second round pick. So at some point, you use the first round pick on him.
I don't mean nothing.
Well, just got to come play.
Jokic is not on the payroll at this point. He was drafted in 21.
He was a second rounder though.
He was a second rounder, wasn't he? Jokic you talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Knicks still on. Well, actually, the Wizards are on the clock, but they're drafting for the Knicks right now. Yeah, drafting for the Knicks right now. So let's see. I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Josh? You think they're going for Wright Dunn here?
That's what I would guess. But this whole thing about wings, I think that's what they do. I think that's the move for them.
Yeah.
Well, we got a wing available. We got Terrence Shannon. We got Terrence Shannon, a wing that can actually score.
What about what's his name? Flipowski you were talking about? DJ Shuttle?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Knicks take him. I think he's a little weak, a little fragile. I just don't think he fits the Knicks bill.
Mm. 4 Frenchmen drafted in the first round. This year.
Wemby done changed the game.
For real.
This is not Frederick Weiss's Frenchman. Gosh, that was horrible.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry for the nightmare. Sorry for the nightmare.
There was a whole story about Frederick Weiss, though. About
I saw it. That was a good special.
Yeah, whole story about him and how it impacted him and all of that. Yeah, that was something. That was something. 2 minutes and 25 seconds till the Wizards pick for the Knicks.
New tweet just came out. Let's see.
Woj.
Yep, they're trading them. They're trading it.
They're
trading. That's it. There you go.
Yep, the Knicks are trading number 26 to the Thunder. And I guess we'll find out shortly what exactly the Knicks will be getting in return.
Wow.
Are the
Thunder have a gang of picks, so there's somebody that could be giving up a future first.
That'd be nice,
Right.
That'd be nice if they're giving up a future first.
And they're a quality team, so they're probably, even if it's their pick, it'll be a late, and they've got picks from other teams that they've acquired over the past couple of years. So, it might be a pick. It might be a pick from another team.
Right. Let's see. Anything from Woj? Anything from Shams?
Okay. So
the Thunder are targeting Dylan Jones at number 26.
So OKC has 2025. They have a Miami pick 1 to 14 protected. In 25, they have a Philly 1 to 6 protected pick. And 25, they have a Utah 1 to 10 protected pick. And they have their own pick, as well as a second round pick from Atlanta and Boston or Memphis. In 27, they have Denver's protected pick 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
and it's a long list of details, but they also potentially have the Clippers first round pick in 27. In 29, possibly Denver's first round pick. So they've got some they got enough picks where giving up a first round pick won't kill them.
Right. Right. And the Wizards drafted Dylan Jones, who'll be headed to OKC. Still trying to excuse me, see what the Knicks are going to get in return. I could see it being a first round draft pick, and that would be a smart move, I think.
I agree.
I think that'd be a real smart move if you're feeling it.
That's what I was saying from the beginning of this pod. Trade one of these for a future first rounder. You gotta do it. You gotta do
Right.
it.
Right. For a future first rounder. And look, the Knicks are expecting that, whenever, that they're going to be drafting low in the first round anyway. Right? That's what their expectations are. That they'll be drafting low in the first round. So, it can't hurt.
And now they got a second pick in the second round.
Per Shams,
And they're picking
OKC is sending 5 second-round picks to the Knicks for Dylan Jones at 26. So there you go.
5 second round
five
picks.
second round picks. Wow.
Yikes.
It makes sense. The Knicks can't afford it. At this point, they can't afford to have a first-round pick on the roster right now. Not
now, but this could have been a first in the year 29. Give me a first in the year 29 or something. You know what I mean? I would have been good with that.
5 second round picks.
So Shuttle, I don't know if you have it pulled up. What are the second round picks OKC has? Do they have something that's even close to the first round?
They have Atlanta's second round pick, but it's 31 to 40 protected. So
okay, so it won't be that.
Probably won't be that next year. They've got Boston or Memphis. So there's probably some stipulations how they get that. 26, they've got Golden State Warriors. Second round pick. That might pan out to something good. And then 26, they also have Dallas or Philly's pick, and they have their own. 27, they have Minnesota, and they have their own. 28, they have Utah's, they have their own, and they have Milwaukee's. By 28, Milwaukee probably be looking a lot different than they look right now.
Right.
Per Shams, Thunder are sending 5 seconds that span from 2025, 2027 to the Knicks.
Okay.
That span 25 to 27.
Okay. Well, they've got 3 and 26. They've got 2 and 25, and they've got 2 and 27. So see how that divvies up.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, they're back to collecting draft picks. Let's see if maybe one of these years they couple those draft picks to try to pull back a first round pick.
Right.
So.
Yeah, maybe you like somebody at the end of the first, and you send 2 second round picks to somebody that's in the same position the Knicks are in, where they're tapped out on cap, and they don't want to spend any money.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the type of moves, right? Like they may not come across as very exciting, but these are the type of moves that allowed you to be able to draft Brunson. I mean, to trade, to get Brunson in free agency by making certain moves. And like these are the non-exciting moves that allows the management to be able to make the moves that they make.
Yeah.
And you gotta respect them.
Yep. And Shuttle, I think you answered the question Jack City asked. Said, I know you play chess. How do you think these chess moves by the Knicks has been going? Just what Shuttle said. You know what I'm saying? These type of moves have allowed the Knicks to, remain flexible, collect assets, to be able to use in the future, and has set them up for success so far. So, I can't argue with the moves that they make or have been making. You know what I mean? Because they've been able to build a team that way and use those assets to I mean, they used some of those assets to get Mikal Bridges. They used assets last year to trade for Bogdanovich, I think, right? Some second round picks. So, I think those type of moves help you to get players. Bogdanovich turned into Mikal Bridges.
And they're also very cognizant of the new CBA and the new cap, right? They're
Right.
very, very cognizant. They're towing that line. And so you mentioned earlier about, I don't know if it was you or Ebro that mentioned it earlier about teams like trying to go for these quote unquote star players and making the super teams. The new CBA penalizes teams for doing that, right? So there's more of a disincentive for teams to do that now. And the Knicks are building their roster away from the way it used to be to more of like what the new CBA is going to become. And I think that for me is the most important thing for me as a fan to see what they're doing and how they're building their roster out.
Yeah.
I think those days are long gone. The super team days are history.
Yeah, that's for sure. Those super team days are gone. Get to a phone call here. Nick from Jersey, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, Chappelle? How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you feeling?
It's been quite the few days.
Right.
It's been awesome. I saw it last night. I was like, oh my god, the Bridges is exactly the package that I was looking for. I wanted them to do bogey and picks and to keep everybody else in the rotation, not to give up another rotation player. Very happy about that trade. And now they're kind of stuck in a rock. Financially they got to figure out how to go forward here and what to do here with the front court. And I think what they did in this draft kind of proved that. They did a draft and stash with the 25th pick. They don't have to pay that guy now until he wants to come over here. And they recouped probably one of those picks that they lost in the Bridges trade now by trading the 26th pick. Maybe Oklahoma City is giving us a first round pick in 2029 or something like that.
No, they're giving us they're giving us like five or six second round picks.
Okay, all right, very well. I mean, we're still loaded. We've got like 22 picks, 21 picks in the next 6 drafts. We've got essentially 8 or 9 rotation spots already spoken for. I'm just concerned about this situation at center. I think, I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know if, it seems like they're going to lose Hartenstein. It also seems like they're ready to trade Mitch. So it's like, who's going to be our centers?
Yeah, I think if they don't get Hartenstein, they're not going to trade Mitch. Right? I can't see them. I can't see them. Not re-signing Hartenstein and then trading Mitch. I don't see that. Tom Thibodeau likes to have a center that can block shots, set screens, rebound the basketball. So he's one of those. I mean, and Mitch is already under contract. Now, if the Knicks do sign Hartenstein, then maybe there's something goes on with Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hartenstein is capped out at a certain number that they could offer him. So it's either
right.
I don't know. What I was wondering, could they do something where they pay Hartenstein's father as an assistant coach off books? I mean, could they work something out outside the salary cap with Dolan's money? Legally.
Legally. I mean, you can hire anybody you want, right? But if they do an investigation and find out that this was negotiated like that, then I think you probably get in trouble. I don't think that's legal. I mean, look, they hired Brunson's dad.
Yeah, now Brunson's going to pass on the Supermax possibility. I mean, he's going to take a team friendly deal. It seems he might take a team friendly deal this summer. So it's like, is Rick Brunson getting the difference under the table?
See, if Rick Brunson gets a bump in pay, then you know.
Unbelievable. Well, I don't know, man. At the very least, I hope they could re-sign. If they're going to lose Hartenstein, I hope they bring back Achua as the backup center. Because if you can't bring back Achua, now you're basically rolling with Mitch and Sims as the two
Right.
centers, and I feel like we got really weak there. But other than that, the two wings, bringing back OG, getting Bridges, putting those guys, having Hart and DiVincenzo as their backups gives us an elite wing rotation. Those four guys right there, and then you've got your number one option and your number two option, buttressing that wing rotation with Randall in the front court and Brunson in the back court. I think this is, the best team on paper in a while. I'm just a little bit worried about the center position.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm holding out hope that we've signed Hartenstein. I'm holding out hope that we can get that done. I don't know. I mean, maybe he feels like OG. OG said, he could see the vision. Maybe Hart can see the vision too. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully Brunson and OG and everybody's calling him up like, come on, man, let's get this done. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do what they did to DeAndre Jordan.
Exactly.
They locked him in his house.
Right. Kidnap him, lock him in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, because if they figure out a way to bring back Hartenstein and they run back with that group at 9, where it's Hartenstein, Randall, Anunoby, Bridges, Brunson, and then off the bench it's going to be Mitch, Hart, DiVincenzo, Deuce. I mean, that team would beat the regular season franchise record of 60 wins, I think, and would be a championship contender for the next 3 years. So, I'm really hoping that happens. And if it doesn't happen and we lose Hartenstein, very well, we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's hold out hope, man. Let's hold out hope that we can re-sign Hartenstein and keep this thing moving and going in the right direction.
Oh, yeah, Buzz. All right, have a good night.
All right, Nick, appreciate it. Yeah. How do you guys feel about what the Knicks did in the draft, though?
I have absolutely no problem with it. Absolutely, positively, no problem with it. I think this is going to be the normal, particularly when this team is going to be winning. We would assume that we can fully assume this team is going to be winning and going deep into the playoffs. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be boring nights like this.
Right.
And I think this is the new norm, and fans need to get used to it. Straight up.
Yeah. What about you, Shuttle? How you feel about it?
Yeah, I came in hoping that the team would draft, one player and get the best player available, potentially a front court player, and turn that one of those picks into a future first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brock Aller is this guy's probably a little better at this than me, so maybe he sees 5 second-round picks as more valuable than what I guess he saw as what would have been a late first potentially. So, I know they have these scales. I don't know the particulars of how the draft scales work. There's so many points for each draft position. So, the analytics probably telling that 5 second rounds are going to be more valuable for trades than the first. So,
okay, right.
Yeah, probably some analytics on that. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I wish it was a first, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They know what they're doing. And the idea that I really, truly want Hardenstein to come back, either with Mitch or over Mitch. And I don't want to concede that Mitch is our starting center at this point. I'm going to be happy that they did a draft and stash and there's still some hope that can happen.
Yeah, right.
So if the Hardenstein signing happens, and a Mitch deal occurs, allowing us to bring in a backup power forward, maybe even a point guard, another wing, somebody that we feel comfortable getting rotation minutes, maybe a draft pick with it. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
so I think it's to be determined still. We'll see what happens on day 2.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because the Knicks now got 38 and 51. So, we'll see what happens there. Both of those guys listen, the Knicks will possibly come away with 3 players in this draft. One is maybe a stash away. All 3 maybe are stash aways. But this is what the Knicks have the ability to do now is, take chances on players. If this was 3 years ago, the Knicks would have drafted probably both of those 25 and 26 or 24 and 25,
Right.
right? But now they don't have to because the roster is, stacked with players that's already in the rotation. You can take a chance on some players that you say, look, this guy has some talent. We think they could develop into this and that, and let them develop, right? Stash them somewhere, let them develop, get them into your program and do those type of things, and to see if they can come along later on. The San Antonio Spurs used to do it all the time, right?
And Miami Heat.
In Miami, every time you turn around, there was some player popping out of nowhere, and you're like, where'd they come from? Because they had them stashed away for years, developing,
The third year with the team, and
Yeah.
here they are in the playoffs, dropping 20.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a good chance for the Knicks to be able to do that very thing.
I don't think Mitchell Robinson is going anywhere, regardless of whether we get Hartenstein or not. I think Mitchell Robinson, and I think, to be honest, I think Mitchell Robinson still might be the starting center next year. To be honest, I think that is definitely still a possibility as well. But what the Knicks did today is they saved some money. I think it's more and more likely that they're trying to save money to bring back Hartenstein, and they're going to be able to fill out the rest of the roster. So I think it'll be pretty much like this, for the rest of the offseason, if I had to assume. I think it would be just like this for the rest of the offseason. The next goal is to bring back Hartenstein, and then after that, this is who we got going into this.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what, Josh. Despite that crazy take, you still my guy.
You don't think there's a chance Mitchell Robinson to be the starter next year?
If Hartenstein is here, absolutely not. He doesn't deserve it. No way. No way. Hartenstein was much more productive in the 49 games as a starter, and is more dependable, more reliable, more durable. And with the other players on the team, the IQ is just going to be too high on the floor with him out there.
I can't argue against the dependable and the health part. I can't argue against that at all. But
can you argue?
People forget when Mitchell Robinson was starting. Mitchell Robinson made a major difference on this basketball team, not just on the defense, but on the offensive glass. Let's not forget about that.
What about the 12 rebounds a game while he started the remainder of the season for iHeart?
Who had 12 rebounds a game? Mitch?
iHeart averaged 12 rebounds a game as a starter for the rest of the season.
I'm not taking anything away from Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm just saying, I can't argue against the health part for Mitch. I'm just talking about people forget the importance of Mitchell Robinson at the beginning of the season when he was healthy. Matter of fact, this was going to be his – he was taking that next step in his career this past season before he got hurt. People forget about that part. So I don't think it's all set in stone that it's going to be Hartenstein automatically. Now, if you want to talk about the politics part, Hartenstein's going to make more than Mitch. So I can see that. But I'm not counting Mitch out as far as being a starter. I am not counting that out at all.
Personally, I think that iHeart will get the starting job. I felt like the offense flowed better with iHeart out there. He was more in tune with the basketball game, in my opinion. But obviously Mitch brings the length and the defense, and he was having a really good season before he went out.
Balling,
he was having a good season.
Balling.
Also, while Mitch's defense in his shell was effective, the defense for the Knicks was their best with iHeart as the starting center during the season. Better team defensive rating while iHeart was starting than when Mitch started.
But there's multiple things that go into that. There was the trade, getting rid of Quentin Grimes, and there was a lot of things that went into that. So it wasn't just that part.
Right.
Either way, whether it be Hartenstein or Mitch being a starter, I think the Knicks will be fine.
Good problem to have.
Oh, it's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have. But I think that's what the next priority is this offseason, is to bring Hartenstein back. And if they get anywhere close, even if it's a little bit lower than what other teams are going to offer Hartenstein, I think he's going to be a Knick.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I mean, I think he probably wants to be a Knick too. Right now, of course, everyone's going to make a financial decision, but I think he probably wants to be a Knick. I'm hoping we can make it happen. The Celtics are on the clock. Baylor Shireman. They selected Baylor Shireman.
We got some decent players that could go to the G League right now with the second round picks, especially at 38.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to jump on and do the second round tomorrow, but I also got to open the gym at 6:00, so I don't know how long the second round is gonna take.
Yeah, they only get 2 minutes. They don't get 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
So you should be done by 5:15.
Yeah, hopefully.
That give you enough time to get to the door.
It takes me 10 minutes to get to the gym.
Oh, okay.
You know
Well,
what I'm
you
saying?
should be good.
You
You
know,
should be good.
I can leave out of here at 5:45 and I'll be good.
I think we'll have some news before the draft starts. If I had to bet, there'll be more Nick news before
I
the
can see
second round
that.
starts
I can
tomorrow.
see that. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you look. The Knicks are getting everything they got to get done. They're getting done early.
What the
Get it
young
done
boys say,
early.
Sim? Standing on business right now. Nick's
Yeah.
standing on
You know what I'm
business
saying?
early.
Early.
There's no lingering. There's no using the Knicks to strike
Right.
get your deals up.
Right.
Listen, the books is closed. We did our deal. Y'all handle y'all mess
Yep.
over there now.
Yep, they getting it done early. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about, like, they like to get stuff done. So now, all right, I know what my team is. Now they can start doing whatever they got to do together, working out together, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what it is. Coaches can start planning. You know what I mean? You know, they get things done early. And
Hey,
silence.
KP was talking greasy. He wanted to go out of here.
You know, so yeah. But that's the first round, ladies and gentlemen. I'm logging off for the night. I'm hungry. I need to go get something to eat and whatnot. You know,
Good job, New York Brass.
yeah, real good job. Real good job. You know what I'm saying? We got, you know, this has been one of the, you know, it's gonna end up being one of the best off seasons we've had in a while.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
Brunson.
Since
Thanks.
Brunson. Yeah. Nice off season so far. So we'll see what else happens. I don't know how much, but besides Mitch and Hartenstein, you know, I don't know, you know. But, you know, we get those things done. Team will be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Early.
looking forward to seeing if they draft anybody in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
The kid they got in the first, and Jokic from Europe. Looking to see this guy and see what these guys do in the summer league.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head up out of here. I appreciate Josh, DJ Shuttle, E-Roo was on earlier, Steph, appreciate everybody for jumping on. And hopefully I'll see
We see you at the Eastern
tomorrow.
Conference Finals.
Word. Out of here. Peace.
Crazy.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.